Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome in, everyone. What's going on? Spencer, Woolbed, Chen, welcome in, everybody. Zanig on YouTube, how's it going? Abra, welcome in, everybody. So today we're actually going to work on the jungle. I know there's still some translation things with the credits or whatever to fix. I don't care anymore. We're not going to work on that today. I will fix it, but just not today. I need to actually start working on real stuff. It's a very minor problem. So, but anyways. So yeah, we're going to work on the jungle. And we're going to do it for real this time. No more joking around and saying we're going to do it. We are actually going to do it. So the jungle is going to be kind of a difficult region to add because it's got a lot of like stuff, right? I mean, jungles are dense with foliage, so it's going to be probably drawing a lot of trees and stuff today. That's okay. Yeah, we'll look around at some different plants and stuff that can grow in the jungle. And do some palm fronds. But yeah. It should look cool though, once it's all done. Anyways. So, I want there to be a waterfall in the jungle, because I think that would just be cool. I haven't looked at it yet. Or actually, no, I did. Yeah, it was like from the perspective of the fish. It's like, no, please. Yeah, it's pretty epic. I wonder if people are translating stuff like that into the Steam page, because it won't work. Okay. Well, I can't, unfortunately, put these... Okay, it looks like these are just, English. Okay, that's fine then. Yeah. Because I can't put it into Steam, you know, it won't work. But anyways. Also, hey. Upward boy, welcome in. So I want to do something like this. Just a cool, epic waterfall in the jungle. Kind of like this, basically, is my vision. So. Lots and lots and lots of plants that we have to draw. So we're just going to kind of copy the river region and sort of modify. I'm going to delete all the decorations in here. Same with the shadows. And we're first going to set up like our terrain here. So we are going to do a waterfall, which means I think we'll end it like right here or something. This is going to be like the wall. We're going to draw some like rocks. I don't know exactly where like the camera extends to on this, you know, but we'll figure it out. And then the next thing we're gonna need is a new shader. So there's one I found. Track is stressful. Yeah, it's pretty insane. I might remove this one. It's a little too chaotic. Yeah, if there's any tracks people just don't like, let me know. The Vital Vitriol. It is a boss music, so... Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, I'm done, I swear. Alright. Now, I don't know if this shader is going to work at all. We're going to mess around with it. Call this. We might have to make our own, which is okay. Okay. Yeah, this is from an old version of Godot, isn't it? It's probably not going to work properly. Yeah, I don't really need a screen texture and stuff. I mean, it would be cool. We'll give it a try, but we'll probably end up making our own. we go. And I don't know what is going on. I don't think it's working, unless I just need to add all these refraction maps and whatnot. So that doesn't work. Also, I don't think it's going to work with the camera zooming. Yeah, I don't know about this. There's also a color ramp here. I don't really know what this does. Clearly, it's not doing anything. Oh, that's inside of a... Whoops. Completely wrong node. So, I mean, I can put this in here, but, like, what is this even doing? I don't really know. So, I think we're gonna have to make our own shader, unfortunately. Because, yeah, this just isn't doing anything. Honestly, after all the streams, I would like no music stream, yeah. We could just load up some, like, nature ambience if you guys want. Just for a chill time. Nature ambience. Sounds of the forest. It'd be a pretty chill time. Like that. It's up to you guys. We can do whatever. We're gonna restart this shader. Oops. Wait, shader type canvas. And then now I need to know. Oh, canvas item. Hey, Abby World, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. How's it going? Then we need the fragment shader. What? Expected a constant function? Do I have to say function? How do I define any of this? Oh, I have to say void, right? Whoopsies. Okay. So we got the fragment. I guess what we're going to do is load in a... So let me know if the sounds are too loud. I don't know how loud it is relative to me. Oops, I made it louder by accident. We'll lower it down just in case. So this is going to be our uniform sampler 2D noise. We add more decorations to the fish tanks. Yeah, definitely. I want to add in some rocks and like more hardscaping stuff. Yeah, like rocks and wood, things like that. It'd also be cool if you could place down like moss around and stuff too. That'd be kind of fun. So yeah, definitely it is in the works. We're going to be working on that soon with this update, so we are officially on to V4. Also, something I should probably go ahead and do. Let's call this jungle. I better commit my changes. I have, yeah, a couple of them. Also, I made that little script so I can just build the zips automatically. So, 0, 3, 4, 1. And then now it automatically deletes the stuff, and I just drop them in game builds. There we go. So, now we can commit all this. We're going to create a new branch. Call it that. Bring my changes over. See, the one giant commit is still a thing. I know, I'm sorry. Add translation. It's a big commit just because I fiddle the translation stuff. Fix bugs. And what else? What else have I done? Fish releasing? Sure. All right, time to merge. Yeah, hopefully Sunny isn't disappointed about my massive commits. It's probably okay. Oh. It's like weird here. Ignore that. It's not a real change. All right, got it over there. Git push force. I don't know any of the git commands, I'm gonna be real. I always just use desktop, so that's the wrong repository. I actually don't even know. Create the pull request. No conflicts. Merge. Just pushing our code over everything. Oh, yeah. We can delete that branch now. And let's go back to main. My changes, I don't really care. It doesn't matter. It's not a real change. Now, I think since I went to main, I had to close the project. That might be too late. Yeah. Oh, it closed anyways, so it's fine. Yeah, we need to fetch the origin, pull it, and then open it up again. Okay. Go back and alert in. Now we're gaming. Creating the autoload scripts. I'm a wee bit tired today. Well, then again, when am I not? Alright, so all we're going to do here is we're just going to kind of modulate this by our warp factor. Now, what I might actually do here is just say color is equal to warp. I might make warp actually a different thing, so I'm going to say water texture. Kind of like that. And then we have to say texture, UV, water texture. Oops. Wait, sampler 2D. I think it's the texture and then the UV, like this. There we go. So now, give this another noise texture. Right there. Give this a noise. And, oops, equals time. Sort of like that. We have to make this repeat. Seamless. Where's that? And here, this has to be... Where do I do that? Oh, it's inside of here, right? I have to say repeat enable. Boom. Now, that's pretty terrible. But let's go ahead and, I think I'm actually just going to copy this code for our regular water. And we're just going to kind of modify it to work for a waterfall. So let's do that. Add the noise. Now, I don't know what noise I used for this guy over here. See, not cammed on YouTube. Welcome in. How's it going? I'm going to copy this noise and we're going to paste it on here, but as a new thing. Paste is unique. Now, I can't see the waterfall for some reason. not 100% sure why. Probably because of this. No. So why is the... Yeah, isn't it just faster water? Well, the other thing too is I have to like make the edges like not sharp. So we have to figure that out. But that's what we're going to be doing in here. Oh, it's probably because I didn't pass over the colors array. Is my guess. Yep. Paste the value. And then we also need to copy the thresholds. We're going to be tweaking this a lot, but just to get some initial stuff in here. Okay, so now we have water in here. And we can start tweaking this. So this is its own shader, so we can change this. So the thing that we need to do is like make the edges like not just a sharp cut like that, because it looks really weird, right? It just doesn't make any sense. Also, the whole like texture of this needs to change a lot too, right? Probably just have it like somewhere like that. I don't know why the texture seems so big. What is the size in here I have set for that texture? I don't know. Do I actually have this set too small? I might. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. What do I have this one set to? That one's set to 256, so... Wait, so it is on the same thing. I don't know why it's like larger visually in here, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird. Did I change the scale? No. No, it's going good. Oh yeah, it's 0.19. Dang. Yeah, you should definitely grab some sleep. By the way, did I play Aeronautics yesterday? Yes, I did. I played a lot of it. It's very fun. We could play some of it on stream if you guys want. It's up to you. I think it'd be smartest to make like a main waterfall texture and end texture with a splash and one for the sides. Yeah, I mean, I could draw it manually, but I really like having a shader because I can reuse this stuff for other projects and stuff in the future if I really wanted to. So I think I will do a shader here. I just need to figure out why this is like a little weird. Yeah, I don't know why it's like large like that. What is going on here? Okay, let's look at everything in here. We have warp strength. Is it because of the warping or something? No. Let's see, I can do that to make the waterfall like that. We're going to change this whole texture, so... let's see. The thresholds are fine for now. We're going to change them, though. I don't know why it's, like, larger. Do I set this to be 512? It's because it's generating bitmaps. So it has nothing to do with that. In coordinates here, screen UV, invert, it gets it in here. Move speed. And it's just getting texture size of the noise texture. So, like, why is it so weird? You know? Fast noise light. I mean, we literally just copied everything over from the other one. Right? I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to literally copy it. We're going to paste as unique, and we're also going to make the shader unique too. Boom. Yeah, I don't know why it was weird, but whatever. We're going to fix it now. Then let's go get rid of the other waterfall one. I was trying it, but I have no idea where to start, so I kind of didn't do anything. Yeah, I think that really the first thing to kind of begin with is just mining, getting materials to build stuff. I've made some epic gizmos I'll have to show you guys. Alright, so now we have our own waterfall thing here and our own textures and everything. Okay, now we can start modifying. So first off, waterfalls don't look like this. That's fine for the surface, but I want this to be not cellular anymore. Well, maybe cellular, but I want it to be like stretched now vertically. So I think there's probably a way for me to do that actually. Maybe. How can I stretch a shader? Like there's like domain warp. And that does some wacky things. That's not really what I want. Cellular, that's what we're on now. Simplex, Perlin, value, cubic. I just want it to be like lines, right? So I guess we just need to vertically stretch this. I think it's possible. So in here, this is where we're getting our like stuff here. I can probably take this screen UV and warp it. Oh, I gotta do that. And then say times vec2 1.0, 1.0, and then I think I can just multiply it, right? Nope. That doesn't do anything. So let's figure out all this code a little bit better, right? So it's getting this coordinates thing. So it's multiplying it by the warp texture. And it's saying our vertex plus screen UV. I don't know why I'm using screen UV. I feel like there's probably a easier way to do this. Because like in all these other places I've just done yeah, I don't know why I'm doing it this way. There's a lot of places in here, like what's one that I do that in? World position right here. So I can grab that, then go back into this, and then say uniform, or I guess this is varying vec2 world position, like that. And now instead of doing vert plus screen UV, I can just put that in there like that. And I don't have to divide there. I can do that inside of here. And I divide by 256 there, like that. And I think this will work. And then this, I just need to fix all these. That should be it, right? Got that one there. It opens, oh, it opens 3. But one more. So invalid arguments. I'm saying .xy on it, right? I guess I need to do that. There we go. So yeah, that works just the exact same. I don't know why I'm using the whole screen UV stuff. It just seems easier to do that. Grab the texture size. Okay, anyways. So that'll work there. So I'm just adding here. I don't know what's going to happen if I multiply, right, by vector. It'd be interesting to see. So if I say multiply by 2, okay, that's changing the speed because it's saying that plus that. We have offset. That's like a different thing. Yeah, I do really want to just say like world position times vec2 or something. Okay, that's doing what I want. So now I can shrink that. Okay, so we want this to be at 1 and then this to be a small value like 0.1. And now you can see what we get with that. So it's not perfect, for sure. But we're getting there. And it does kind of like speed it up, which is like a little weird. But that actually looks pretty decent, I think. I can just lower the speed down here. Or actually, what I can do is make this a thing in here. So I'm just going to say uniform vec2 scale is equal to, I'll just do that. Then now, over in here, I just say times scale. What do you mean it needed? All right, do that. So scale over here, I'll set to 1. And now I can just modify scale. Now, what we can do is, with the move speed, multiply this by the inverse of what our scale is. And move speed is a vector, so we can literally just say move speed times, or divided by, our scale. Or I guess we would say times. So that means no matter what our scale is set to, right, as we change this in here, our speed, or how fast the water moves, stays consistent. So anyways, we can set something up like this, right? We definitely want the move speed to be much faster. Maybe even a 1. I kind of like that level. Then we can add a particle emitter at the bottom, and this is going to be like for the white foam, you know, that comes up. And we'll get a texture here. And then we can edit the sides of this so it kind of has, like, instead of it just being this perfectly flat thing, it'll be a little, like, messed up on the edges, which is good. So, hey, Kinkles, welcome, man. How's it going? What is going on? I'm looking for a good particle we can use for this. Might have to make a new one, that's fine. Yeah, I think what we'll do is, like, gravity would be kind of just 0 here, I think. Mission shape is going to be a rectangle to right there. And there's going to be way more particles coming out. Color ramp. Make that white, make that full. Make that invisible. So something kind of like that, and then let's go draw the particle. We're working on a new zone, so I'm just kind of like getting all the shaders and stuff set up for the waterfall. It's going to be for the jungle. So yeah. Hopefully it'll be cool. We'll just do kind of like a weird blob like this, and I think that should give us like some nice, like a little bit of randomness in the shape of the foam. I definitely should go look at like a video of a waterfall just to make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, save that. And I think that needs to be quite a bit larger, actually. Scale to double the size, I think. And then just had to do this to get rid of all that. Let's just fix all this stuff. And now I can make it like a little more random too. Yeah, I don't know what like would look the best for this. I'm not 100% sure. Just kind of like a weird blob shape, probably. We could maybe even do multiple different kinds of particles too, and that would probably also kind of help. But for now, we'll mess with this, see what it looks like. All right. That actually looks fine though, I think. And then for the time on this, I think I want this to be a lot faster. Yeah, kind of like that. And then let's increase the height of this to like that maybe. And then also angle should be random. And then for scale, it should start off tiny and grow over time, right? Like that. It shouldn't start that small, but like it should get pretty large. Just like that. Okay. Flip it vertical. I don't know if we can flip in here, but doing the full rotation should be fine. So I think it'll be okay. I think that looks pretty decent. Obviously the top of it looks stupid, so we have to fix that and make it so the edges and everything, and also change the colors so it's like white. Now, doing the transition from water into waterfall might be a little tricky. We'll have to see exactly what we're going to do for that. This can just be like a big long line. That's good enough. All right, so it goes in like that, and then might have to do some kind of... I think maybe what I could do actually is have, like, fade this out on the edge, you know? Did I make all Lurden's assets yourself? Yes, I did, yeah. Just put rocks here? I could, but I'd like the player to be able to see the water up here, so it's easier to tell that it's a waterfall, you know? Also, I swear there is a way that we could stretch this in here. I mean, I know we can adjust frequency and offset, but I thought I could, like, do it in here. Ridged. I guess not. Because the only thing I don't like about this is how it, like, makes this look a little weird. Wish we could, like, kind of fix that somehow. But we'll figure it out. So actually, I don't know if we need to do the edges, because I can just put rocks over the water to make it look random or whatever. So yeah, actually, that would probably be okay. Yeah, the top, let's think about the top here for a minute. So I want this to go from like blue into like a white color for the waterfall. I don't know if we'll go full white on this, but definitely brighter than it is now. Alright, so we'll probably do like a little bit of this. I'm just going to copy this bright color for all these other ones. It would copy. What? Oh, I have to hit enter on it for it to like apply. And then we'll just go a little bit darker on that one. And this one even a little bit more darker. And I might change the color of the water for the jungle also. I was thinking more of like a greenish blue instead of just dark blue. I don't know, we'll have to see. This might be a little too bright here. Let's lower that one down and then that one down quite a bit more. We'll keep tweaking it. I just want to get everything like mostly set up and then we can go through and really do all the little stuff like this. Okay, so I don't want the water here to be moving so fast. It's kind of like a slower body of water, I imagine. So let's set this to minus 0.05. Sort of like that. Yeah, I definitely think the greenish blue would be awesome. So, Drunkbox, Japer, welcome in. Okay, let's fix some of these tiles. We're gonna probably draw like a whole new tile set for the jungle. Because I think I want to do a different texture for like the ground. I want it to be a darker green. This is like too bright and there's no flowers in the jungle. So we'll have to do that. Yeah, how do we want to do this transition? There's a couple ways we could do this. I could actually just make it so the waterfall at the top just kind of fades out. And so we could overlap it on top of the water. That would actually work pretty well, probably. And there's an easy way that we can do that. Yo, what's up, Ace? How's it going? I did figure out the car, by the way, on the server. I haven't, like, fully built it, but I think it's going to work really well. Let's call this, Uniform Vec 4 Fade. And now we can go put that in here. Let's hide all these. Did I put this in waterfall? Yeah, I did. Oh, I need to do a sampler 2D. Oops. Uniform sampler 2D fade. Now I can put in a gradient texture 2D. Let's do that. So now we can tweak this and like we can adjust how it fades out. So it should be really easy. Down here we just say that times right, color.a times equals texture And how am I actually getting this snapped color business? So coordinates minus offset times brightness. Well, this actually doesn't need to be mapped to anything, so I'm just going to say world position on this. And then we're going to pass in our fade. And multiply it by R. So now we can keep adjusting this. See, I think if we bring this up, does it not do anything? Doesn't appear to have done anything. I'll go ahead and multiply that by A, just so it's using the same thing. Excited to test more stuff out? Yeah, I know. It's going to be really fun. Yeah, I really want to make like a little mining car. That'd be fun. Yeah, so this doesn't seem to be doing anything for some reason. Maybe it's because I'm saying color times equals that, and then I think I have to say alpha is equal to that one. Still not seeing anything change, though. And I think actually it is probably because it's using world positions. I think I just need to use UV. Yeah. So now what we can do is this. So we fade it at the top like this, right? And then we can kind of overlap it a bit. So I'll make this waterfall the exact like width of the water up here. Just extend it out a little bit. Now, are we 1 pixel off? We are. Oh, anyway, something sort of like that. And then I can just rise this up into the water. Like that, right? Look at that. That actually works really well. So that's pretty epic. Now we got a waterfall. Now I can adjust like how strong this fade is. So I can like push it up if I want the boundary to be a little less big. Something kind of like that, right? So that's actually kind of sick. And since it uses the same like texture and everything, it kind of like blends in decently with the water up there. Not perfectly, but it's not too bad. So yeah, this is why I want to do a shader. I think I just get a little bit more flexibility. I don't have to draw a bunch of assets to make the waterfall look right. So this is going to be a lot easier for sure. Cool. So that's kind of the first step to doing the jungle. Let's go ahead and like add it into the game in here so we can kind of go there and check it out. So LI region jungle. Travel cost will be $100,000. And we're gonna probably hide a lot of this stuff. This is now going to be region jungle. I guess all this stuff is fine for now, but we're going to swap it all out one day. Let's go test it out, shall we? We'll have to do like some waterfall ambience and stuff here. Waterfalls are kind of loud, so I don't want to make it just loud for the sake of it being loud, but let's see, hold on 1 second. I have emails from the Weblate server. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. They're just unable to make an account on the Weblate. I'm not sure. Okay, let's research the ocean. I can't even see it. This is why I want to tweak this stuff. Hold on, we got ocean. Let's get rid of our ambience for now. Call this jungle. Yeah, I want the player to be able to see it. That's kind of lame if you can't. So we're gonna edit the waterfall position a bit. To be closer probably to where you're casting. That, or we just like move everything. The player always is in the same spot, so I kind of have to work around that. So yeah, we're just gonna move this down till it's kind of in a spot where we can see it. Like right there. That should probably be okay. Then up here, we can delete some more tiles. Like that. We'll see if that's visible now. So yeah, this is our reference. Hopefully this isn't AI. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. Is it though? It might be. Here, let's see. Where is this from? Stock cake? Okay, it might be AI. We're not going to use that as a reference. Let's find a real photo. This guy. There's a real photo. There's a pretty epic jungle. See, I don't know if we'll be able to do like the rocks inside of the waterfall or not, but we will see. Let's just look at an image of like the Amazon rainforest specifically. Because I want to know what kinds of like plants and stuff kind of spawn there. I say spawn like it's a game. I mean, it is in our case, but yeah, there's a lot of these like palm fronds. I don't know specifically what kind of plant this is. But I'm not 100% sure. Adobe labels their photos if they're AI. Yeah, I don't really think this is AI, guys. Pretty sure this is a real photo. If it was AI, it's always very obvious, like in the leaves and stuff. Pretty sure this is a real photo. Also, there's no way it would be able to do all the detail and like these little things and stuff. I just don't think it would look right. This is just a long exposure time on the water. That's how they get that like velvety look. But yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a real photo. See, I'm just looking around at the different plants, you know, because I want to capture that vibe. Let's see. So we use Adobe stock pics in school, yeah. Yeah, images are really good now. Yeah, it's pretty difficult to tell these days. I mean, if you really get in close on stuff, you can kind of see like there's clear like consistent camera artifacting and like smudging with motion blur on this. So like to me, this is very obviously a real photo. But yeah, you look at other stuff and it's probably kind of obvious that it's not real. Might be real. Yeah, it's stupid that you have to second guess yourself if something's real anymore. Yeah, all this is like AI garbage, isn't it? I just want to find some real images. Yeah, I wish there was an easier way to find real stuff. Like, okay, what is a waterfall in the Amazon rainforest? And we can just look that one up, right? Like, and then that would be the best way to do it. This TripAdvisor, but what are some cool waterfalls? It's kind of a taller waterfall. It's not like tiny like these. This one's pretty epic. I mean, I'm sure this is a real photo. This is kind of the vibe I want to aim for. Yeah, it's still fairly easy to tell if you know anything about photography. Yeah. Yeah, it should be like legally mandated. You have to label. I agree on that, honestly. Yeah, like it's kind of a big problem. There are a lot of sites that require you to label stuff, which is nice. Even YouTube and stuff requires you to label your short if any AI was used, so it's nice to be able to do that. So yeah, they definitely have these big palm fronds. There's like some algae. Rocky. Definitely has a green hue in the water. But I want to do this kind of vibe with the water. Sort of a greeny, vibrant blue. Kind of cloudy, I guess. I just think it would look cool that way. Give it a more tropical vibe. I don't know if this is real. It might be. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm an artist. I shouldn't have to jump through hoops to find references that aren't slop. Yeah. I know. It's annoying. Do I use any AI assets in my game? None whatsoever. No. Everything is hand-drawn or hand-programmed by me. So, I don't want anything that's not real inside of the game, you know? Might put more particles on this and change it into a GPU particle emitter, just for the performance. Yeah, over here in the EU, they're discussing something like that. Yeah, that's a good thing. So, all right, let's just start drawing some of these plants, I guess. And definitely like the greenery in these areas are like a darker green, you know, versus like the meadows. Because if you look at like an image of a meadow, it's way more like vibrant green, but jungles are like darker. I think it's partially just because there's such a big like what do they call that? The crown, the what is that called again? The thing that all the trees, the canopy, kind of blocks out all the light from the sun. So I think it just literally is darker in jungles. But Amazon rainforest plants. I just want to like look at a list of species. Oh yeah, they have these guys, the massive lily pads, and these. There's a lot of plants in the Amazon rainforest. The giant water lily, rubber trees, cocoa beans. These big trees. Might just be photoshopped. Yeah. It's pretty hard to tell these days, though, between the two. I mean, these are like specific flowers and stuff. I want like the most, like this stuff. So there's definitely like lower like ferns and shrubs. I mean, we can just look at images. We don't have to be like completely accurate, you know? We'll just like kind of guess. So there's definitely big overgrown trees, and that's what we'll do, with some vines hanging down and stuff. And then lots of these, like, there's these little like bushy ferns, kind of like these guys that are near the bottom. But then you also have like these taller guys. These might be like baby trees. I don't really know. But there's so many different kinds of plants. We're just going to keep drawing a bunch and arrange them in here, I think. So the trees are going to be a little annoying to draw because they're really big. So I have to, it's going to be a lot, but we'll probably just draw one and like randomize the horizontal flip and stuff just to make it easier. Maybe two different kinds, like a really big one that we only put a couple down of, and then some like smaller ones that are more spriggy. We'll have to see. Let's go copy like just to get the general scale for how like big these are. It'll definitely be larger than this. So let's resize the canvas. 96 by like 128. So something like this. I don't know how we're gonna do like the tops of it. We'll have to see. I might actually just make it kind of fade out. That might be the play. So these trees are very big. They have like big, thick trunks, right? Like that. But then the thing they have too is like these really thick roots, you know, that go into the ground. Kind of something like that. okay. I guess they'd be sort of rounded because they'd like go into the ground. So that would be sort of the base. I don't know if I'm going to do a bunch of top foliage or not. I'm not really 100% sure, but we could block out some just to see. I might not even fully render this tree right now. I kind of just want to like just slap something down so we kind of get an idea of the scale of everything first. So these trees, like they're kind of like this, where they don't have a lot of foliage lower down on the tree. It's kind of more like just at the top, because I mean that's why there's like a jungle canopy, right? Right, you can look at this where it's like looks so much like broccoli. But they're very viney. They have like this vibe to them where it's almost like a bunch of tubes wrapped together. Lots of vines and stuff coming down. Yeah, there's not like a whole lot of leaves from the trees that are down here. It's all up at the very top. So like this, right? I don't know if that's real. Yeah, right. This is the vibe. There's the canopy, the emergent, the understory. So there's like a couple of leaves that drop down, but definitely nothing super crazy. I want to know what tree this is. Is this a real tree or is this a building? Huh. Types of trees in Amazon rainforest. Should sneak and chomper from Plants vs Zombies. That'd be awesome. Yeah, these guys are crazy. The huge, like, wild roots. Those are awesome. Trees of the Amazon. Here's what I want to know. Yeah, the canopy is crazy. Missing all these things in here. The trees are stretching over the sunlight. Yes, sir. This doesn't have like images of all of them, do they, though? I mean, they have a list of all of them, but... Oh, you know what? Maybe I could find... Wikipedia is always a very good source. I know, obviously, it doesn't work for, like a peer-reviewed journal. You're not supposed to use Wikipedia, but just for a normal person or for a game like this... See, category trees of the Amazon forest, and now we just have all of them here. I don't know, like, which one is the most common kind. There's probably a lot of them. We're just gonna kind of do some stuff, I think. Because it's hard to know how common these are, and there's probably like 1,000 different variants, too. So yeah, really, it's kind of like this, where it's got these, like... trunks that just kind of go up. This looks like a pretty jungle vibe tree. It's good enough. And then it's got a lot of these like little viney things, you know, that kind of like hang down and stuff and wrap around. I don't know what those are. I think they might be aerial roots. Because these are basically... Since the jungle is so humid, like, this looks scary. But sometimes trees grow roots out from their trunks. And then they kind of hang down like this, right? So, man, this is crazy. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So I know the jungle has a lot of those. You can kind of, like... force that to happen with your bonsai trees too. I mean, they are jungle plants after all, so it kind of makes sense. As soon as that ad. Which actually looks amazing. I appreciate it, yeah. Yeah, I feel like you've done this quite a bit. It's not easy to draw trees. I've definitely drawn a lot of trees before. Yeah, it's a lot of work. And then we can kind of define like the bright areas up here. We'd have like a splotch there. There, one in here, one right there. And we're kind of looking at this from like top down. How did I do my shading on the birch? Because I did like how I did that. So yeah, basically just blobs. So now that we got those, we can like go through with the smaller bits, kind of like rough it up, you know, connect some areas, add in like leaves. I don't know how much of the tops of these trees are going to be completely visible, so I'm not going to focus too much on trying to render this out fully like I did with the birch. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Then in some of these areas, I just add in like another little splotch. I'm kind of making these leaves sort of like specifically different from the birch leaves. More like spiky, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really know what I'm doing. Just kind of messing around until it looks right, so we'll see. I don't know if I really like that shading or not. I think it might be too bright, so what I might do is this, where I replace all this with a dark green, right? Like that. And then we go through and redo the highlights in a different color. Yeah, I used to do a lot of pixel art commissions, so that was always some really good practice for sure. But it eventually got to a spot where I was very tired of dealing with all the people and their demands, you know. I'd like spend days in doing this one piece of art, and then the guy is just like, I don't like this, redo it. And I'm like, okay, I have to, because it's in my, like, you know, rules and my offered services, but it does get very, very old. Yeah, I don't really like the shading on the leaves, but it's okay. Let's just keep moving, you know? Sometimes you got to do that, and eventually it starts to look right. Definitely be doing some, like, anti-aliasing on these and stuff. Probably also do, like, separate it down the middle there. Kind of bring this up. Okay, and then we can go through the trunk. Do some shading there. So I think to make this tree look how I want, it's basically like we're just gonna make it kind of look like a bundle of tubes, right? And it doesn't work for every kind of tree, but since this is like specifically a jungle tree, I think it'll look good. Cooking over here. Appreciate it. I'll give this sort of like a darker patch here probably, since I want this stuff to kind of be like going up. Maybe we'll put a little bit of tube action in here. Yeah, learning pixel art, I didn't ever do any pixel art specific tutorials or courses or anything. I just kept drawing and practicing, you know, and that's basically the way I learned. So wait 1 second, how'd you shade that fast? It's just because I do it all day long. I'm very used to it now. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to draw some tubes in here, and then we're going to go through and like shade them. So I'm literally just going to go like that. Just draw some little tube guys, right? Like this one probably goes off that way. Maybe that one goes like up into there. This guy goes that way. And we're going to get rid of this, obviously, and fix it. It's not going to stay this color. It's just like a temporary kind of blocking things in. I'm actually going to go through and do that one manually. We can do a little bit over there. So now what we do is we just select all that. I'm going to replace it with this color. And then I think I might actually make this whole trunk darker. I do want the jungle area to be kind of dark, right? So I think I'll do this up there. Maybe go that color for that. Oops, not that one. I meant these ones. And then that color there and that color, I think is the vibe I want to go for. So now that we've got these tubes drawn, we can go through and I always do this thing where I kind of break it up into these like chunks, because a lot of trees look that way, where it's got like bark, right? So we can kind of do this into these like little sections. That's always how I do it. Try not to make it look too like consistent. I don't do that one there because it looks a little like weird. And then once it gets up into here, we kind of want like all this to be dark. So we're gonna draw over all this. Kind of like that. But just up until we get... Then we can have like a little bit up here just so it's fades in. Yeah, I guess this mostly works. This hopefully should blend in with everything. And then we'll have some aerial roots come down just from the canopy, just like this. It'll basically just sort of look like vines or whatever. I don't know how crazy we'll go with them. Not everywhere. It's going to drop all the way down. Maybe something like that. And we can literally have some real vines, right? Like swing across from under here and stuff. Just to add to the vibe. I don't know if like this is technically like real. But it's fine, you know? Honestly, a lot of drawing stuff sometimes is just feeling it out. Feel your gut. What does your heart tell you to draw, you know? I think that looks okay. Probably would shift the lighting a little bit on the tree just so it's more consistent. Because like we have like these would be more off to the right instead of directly in the middle. Specifically like for this one here. And I think I'd want to replace a lot of this shading in here with just pure black, like that. And then go through and kind of anti-alias a little bit. Sort of like that. Yeah, I think we're getting there. Thank you so much for the cheese time. We have ads going on, I apologize. Exaggerating for the aura and vibe of jungle is the best part. I definitely think so, yeah. It just makes everything a little bit more fun. And I don't like how smooth the canopy is up here, so I'm gonna kind of go along now and like draw in some little like, you know, bits that are sticking out, like leaves. Especially like under here, we can have like some areas, right? Also, it'll be good because it'll kind of help like connect these vines into the canopy a little bit more. So, thank you for the second cheese time. I don't know, I say all this stuff like I'm some pro, but I really don't know what I'm doing. Not like I went to university and got some degree in art. I'm just like messing around. I think this looks okay. Definitely though, I would on the vines here and the roots make these dark because they would be underneath the canopy. And same with the vines right here. Sort of like that. Then, I mean, that's pretty basically it. We just need to go through and outline it now. Oh my god, that's a lot of cheese, guys. I should calm down with the cheese. Now, outlining this guy is going to take a minute, unfortunately, because it's a big sprite. But it's okay. Outlining is kind of fun. You just kind of go with the flow. Yeah, careful, everybody. Fill that in. We got the vine. I might go through and anti-alias the vine a little bit. We'll see. Yeah, it's gonna take a minute. Anyways, ads are over. Sorry about those. Let's see. Sakura, welcome in. It's a talented pixel art. I appreciate it. Yeah, how do I get so good at this? Just lots of practice. That's really the secret. Look at references too. I mean, that's why I just spent all that time going through and looking at trees, because I get a much better idea of how they like kind of work, right? Specifically the tree I was trying to draw, which is like a jungle tree like this, right? So that's a really, honestly, a very important part of making art, is just knowing like what you're drawing, and especially if you're drawing something that exists in real life, reference is super important. Yeah, just practice. There's no like secret. You don't just wake up one day and you're really good at art all of a sudden. It takes a lot of practice. The bomb rouse of pixel trees, I appreciate it, yeah. I've always enjoyed drawing trees. It's just fun. Because trees like are so like dynamic and wacky, which is kind of always cool. Because, you know, like drawing a building or something, it's very structured, and I do enjoy that too. But specifically, sometimes drawing trees is just a fun time. Because you can kind of just draw like a funny, wonky stick, and then and it looks cool. So, yeah, it's always really fun. I don't know if I'm going to outline the vines and the aerial roots or not. I might leave those unoutlined, just to kind of like, so they don't take focus away from the main tree. But we'll see. Another cheese time. Oh my goodness. Practice makes progress. Yeah, it is all practice. It's very important. Now we can go through and just like clean up a couple things I don't like. Let's merge all these layers now. I like just having everything merged because it's easier for me. I'm not going to be like adjusting the shape of this now, so. We'll do some anti-aliasing there. Oh, thank you for that, Hydrate. I think for you, even though it was annoying dealing with people, but to get all the sort of requests helps with developing your pixel art skill, because you're always drawing something different. Oh yeah, like definitely, I definitely don't deny that fact. It was very helpful in getting practice. Because you kind of just like, somebody comes in, it's like, hey, draw this. So it helps with that like block that I think a lot of people feel, me included, of like having to figure out what to draw, you know? That's also another thing that's really nice too, just about making games, is that I kind of, that block of knowing what to draw is a lot less severe. Just because with games, it's sort of like, you don't really decide what needs to be drawn or what you want to draw. It's just a matter of what is there to draw, right? So like I look at something, I'm like, all right, I'm drawing a jungle, I'm going to need a tree, and then that's the thing I draw, right? So it's very easy in that sense, right? Of just like knowing what to draw. Yeah, I think this will work, hopefully. We might have to tweak it. I might add some little sprigs of grass and stuff down there, but let's call it jungle tree. Now we're just going to paste it all around in here. I do have to give it like a shadow, but oops, I tried to add in a jungle tree. So let's do that. Get the jungle tree. Then we're going to set an offset. Let's set it to like -48, like that. Anyways, say Woolbed, welcome in. Saw you in there. Yeah, sorry I'm missing all the messages in here. I was too locked in. Let's see what I miss in here. Yeah, especially with heavy stylizing comes with pixel art. I feel it always looks nicer when you go for that cartoony vibe. Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah. I love how I miss the time of you looking at references. Oh, yeah. How do I decide on my palettes? I think it just really depends on the kind of game and the art I'm drawing. Um, like I, oh yeah, I didn't draw a line. I'm gonna get rid of that little outline on the other vine. I think it's just too distracting. So for example, Lured In, it's like calming and chill, right? And that's the vibe I wanted to kind of exude with the palette. So the reason I went with this palette is like it's very pastel. The colors are, in my opinion, kind of like calming, and they're not so like uber saturated. There are things that work well for that kind of palette, like if you have very saturated colors, you know, then that can work, but I think it kind of makes your game feel very aggressive and like, and that can be a good thing if, like, for example, you're making like a platformer or something where it's very actiony and it's intense. I think you want an intense color palette to go with that. But specifically for Lured In, I want it to just be chill and calm. So for that, I was like, I'm just gonna do a very like pastel, just simple color palette. I'm glad that I went with that. I think it looks very nice, in my opinion. But yeah. Yeah, saturated colors definitely make everything feel just very, yeah, like chaotic, I guess is the right word, right? So, oh yeah, flipping it's going to be a little weird here. I guess it doesn't really matter. We just flip it. It'll be fine. Anyways, now we can draw a bunch of these. But yeah, I found a color palette. A resource I recommend everybody is Low Spec, because it's got a lot of really good palettes already on there for you. That's how I actually made the palette. Like, basically, I found a palette that I kind of liked on here and then adapted it a little bit. I've removed some colors, added some new ones. But I definitely recommend people do that, because I think it's, if you're just starting out, it's good to use a palette that is proven, just so you can learn the actual art itself instead of worrying about the palette so much, right? So there's a lot of different like kinds. There's some that are very extreme, like this one where it is all brown, right? But you can do some really cool stuff with that. Like, these are awesome, right? It's very stylized that way, and I've seen really cool looking stuff with a very limited palette before, but it can be harder for sure having a limited palette. Because you have to get creative, you know, with your colors. Like a shadow might be like green or purple or something, just because that's the only color that you have to work with. So this is actually the palette that I initially used for Lured In. And I did a lot of tweaking to it. It doesn't really look like this anymore. There's a lot of new colors and stuff I added. And I also removed a lot of these that were like too similar to each other, like this one and this one. And I think I still have this one, or I think I removed this one but kept this one. So yeah, but I like this palette. It's just very like chill. Yeah, retro. It's like a little cooler. It's not so like orangey and vibrant. Or I guess it's more warm. It's like the blues are less saturated, I feel like. I don't know. Anyways, I think it's a nice palette. Let's see here. We replace the black outline altogether with a darker green, darker brown instead. I could put a brown in here, although it'd probably blend in too much with the trunk, I feel like. I could see doing like a dark green for the leaves, though. So we could do that. We could just grab this and then go through with like this color. And then it would kind of match the green on there. What color am I using for that? Oh yeah, let's replace all of that with this color then. So I can go in and do this. I don't know how it's going to look, though, if I, like, replace all that. I mean, I can. And I could go in and do all this. Now you can see that's what it looks like instead. And I don't think I mind that too much. I think it's actually kind of nice. Let's do, like, fix some of these outlines a little bit here. So that's what that looks like instead there. I think it just kind of opens up the leaves a little bit. Quake palette 250 F 256 are browns. Yeah. I think working with limited color palettes is a great way to figure out and learn how to use contrast and values. Yeah, like if you want to learn how to use colors, then definitely a limited palette can be good for that. I wouldn't though like make a game and give yourself an ultra limited palette unless you've already had a lot of practice with palettes, right? Because then you're gonna just have a bad time, I think. Let's do a big shadow for this guy. So it's gonna be 96 by 64. And I'm not going to be super careful with the, like, the shadow. I'm just going to kind of break it up. I'm just going to go around the edges and just go... Good enough. So this is a shadow jungle tree. Okay, swap this out. Jungle tree. And then what I'm going to do for these shadows is add them all into a canvas group. So when I put these shadows together, it means they won't like overlap each other. So I'll show you guys what I mean by that. So I can lower the opacity on this now like that. I'm going to set the ordering of this to be pretty low. -10. And then now if I add another shadow in here, you can see they kind of like merge. I thought it would. Wait. How did I do it in the other regions then? Could have. I'm just changing the visibility on that. Oh, you have to change self-modulate on here, because otherwise it'll change the modulate of those children. There we go. So now you can see what that does. So this is a really useful node, canvas group, for like fixing alpha issues with shadows, because you can, it just like merges their alpha together like this. So it's a really good way to do this, specifically for what I'm doing here. Yeah, now we can just go ahead and duplicate a bunch of trees and scatter them all around. This actually does start to take shape for sure once we get some trees around in here, so this is pretty cool. And then yeah, along like the waterfall, we'll do some rocks, like a wall here of rock stuff. Just gonna scatter these around. And then what we're gonna do is randomly select them and flip them and then also scale them. And that'll just kind of help make all this feel a little more random. Now, I think I made a grave error, but that's okay, we can still fix it. I should have put a shader on this, but it's fine. Because on like these ones, I have a, you know, the little sway shader. I do want that on these. So we're going to go into here, copy this. And then on all these trees, paste this material. So now they all sway a bit. So now I'm just going to kind of randomly grab trees in here and we're going to flip them. And it'll help just kind of make everything feel a little bit more random. So now we just go to here and boop. We flip them, and let's also do that again and just randomly grab them, and we're going to scale them up and down now. I could do all of that with code, but it is faster for me to do this now in the editor instead of at runtime, you know? So, and these ones, let's make a little larger, 1.1. And then let's do it again with random trees and make them like a little smaller. Oops. Whoa. I just accidentally moved all those to a child. Alright, so now we've got all those selected, and let's set these to 0.9. Let's do like 0.95. Or maybe we go even larger. Like go big with the trees. We can see what that looks like. You won't see all of these out here. It's going to kind of all get filled in, so it's not going to look that weird. But, then I got to do this. I mean, sorry I keep missing all these, questions and stuff and comments and the, let me see. It's funny, the fact I'm still learning pixel art, I'm still having trouble deciding what to create as a pixel art design profile avatar for my social media. Yeah, it's hard to do that for sure. Drawing like avatars and stuff. I always just like take a photo of myself and kind of just convert it to pixel art. But yeah, drawing faces is really hard. Like you can mess up on stuff like a tree because trees are so chaotic and random that it kind of doesn't matter. But you can't really do that on like somebody's face because if you kind of mess that up, it just doesn't look like the person anymore. So that's always tricky. That's good enough over there. I'm not going to worry so much about these shadows actually, right? Like, because you won't even probably be able to see most of these anyways from the camera's perspective. So I'm just going to add a couple over on the other side that you probably will be able to see as a player. And then we're done. So I don't know if this is going to look good at all. Let's go ahead and try it out. On Krita, you could temporarily put the grass texture as a temporary background layer to get a better idea of how they can work together. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely do that. We're going to go through and change the grass, but yeah, it's a possibility. Some software that lets you have references always on top of whatever you're currently using. Yeah, you can actually do that in Krita, I'm pretty sure. You can like drag over an image and then have it as like a little window, a reference window. I don't remember how to do that, to be honest, but... if it's easy. Yeah, we're definitely going to change the grass. That's the next step. I'm just kind of going through and drawing the trees, but, oops, I went to the wrong place. But yeah, we're going to do that for sure. So this is what we're looking at now. That's not too bad. I think we swap out the grass color and fill it in with some more foliage, like ferns and little shrubs and stuff around and fix the back wall there. I think we're going to be at a pretty good spot, so... Now, the reason I like am building this region out a little further than I need to is because this. When you scale out your window, you can see more stuff, like this too. So I kind of have to like create the world a little bit because otherwise you're going to like see stuff you're not supposed to see. You can actually still do that where you can see like a weird gap there at the bottom. So that's something I kind of need to fix, but it's fine for now. Nice sway shader, perhaps sync a similar motion in the shadow sprite. I could do that. Yeah. It just always is a trade-off of like performance to stuff like that. Like I could add a shader to everything, but then I would worry some people might have a hard time rendering in this scene. So it's always hard to say with that. Yeah. Yeah, face are really hard in pixel art because it's easy to slip into the uncanny valley. Definitely, yeah. Is that character made of segments? Yeah, so the player has like their arms are two, like I use inverse kinematics for that. So if we go into that, we can look at that. So you can see like the arms are two separate sprites, and that way I get it set up so the player can like hold their rod and rotate it around nicely. So it works really well. This scene looks really chill. What type of game is this? This is it's called Lured In. It's on Steam right now, actually. Yeah, it's just an idle fishing game. You can just chill and catch some fish, bring them back to your aquarium, buy upgrades and stuff. Your customers walk in, you can make cash from them by putting fish on display. Yeah. We're pulling the rod right now. Let's go. I think I might start putting these update posts on the playtest version of the game. I was putting it on the main one, but I realize it's a little weird because then nobody can see them from their library. And it looks like it... Yeah, see, it's weird, right? Because now that I've done it that way, I think if we go in here, it'll show... Yeah, there's a new update right here, right? So that's probably better to do it that way. Alright, so let's continue. Yeah, I guess the next thing here is probably... Let's change the grass and the tiles, because I don't think they really fit the vibe, right? Also, I want to change the color of the water, because we were talking about doing that. God, what is going on? It's saving a web page? Okay. So this should be a unique object, I hope. Just in case, I'm going to make this unique. I don't need to make all of that unique, literally just the shader. So now we can go into our color parameters here and just tweak them. So I don't know exactly what color I want to go with. I don't want it to stray way too far away from this base color. But we can kind of go in here and just shift it a little more to the green. You know, something like that. Shift that one and then that one. Right? Sort of like that. Just make it more green. And I might increase the brightness of those two just a little bit, like that. And I think that complements the colors a little bit more. Yeah. So then next thing, let's, we're gonna have to redraw this whole tile set a little bit. Actually, though, I have an idea. This might work. Since that is just a shader, what I use for the green, we can change that, I think. Honestly, I feel like the jungle should have a wider river. I can make it wider. That should be fine. Let's see. So I want to go find our tile set. It's in here somewhere. Where is our tile set? Where is it? Oh, there it is. No, that's the shop tile set. I want the one for the grass. It should be like bright neon green in here. Oh, there it is. You should also buff the rain modifier, make it more common. Yeah, that'd be cool. I could definitely do this, something like that. Another thing you could do with the sway shader is to scroll a noise map along X world coordinate and use it to offset the time of the sway. Yeah, I mean, that is an option for sure. The only thing, though, with that is that would probably be a little bit more of a performance cost. What I'm using now is just math. I'm using, like, sine waves to do it. And the reason for that is that it's very fast, right? Like, calculating a sine wave, it takes nothing. But maybe, for sure. I mean, it's an option. Yeah, because you could, like, map the noise. I don't think it matters too much for a scene like this, but definitely if we did like a big like meadow with a bunch of grass, then it would make a lot of sense. Can have flies buzzing around. Yeah, we can add literally we can do this. We can just get a CPU particle node and there's our bugs. So we can do an emission shape, right? Do like a big one like this. Maybe not quite that tall on the vertical. And then now for gravity, we just set that to 0. Let's up the number of particles so I can see. And then we can set the color on these guys. And let's set their time a little longer to like 10 seconds or something. And then now we'll just do initial velocity. Have them very slowly move upwards or just around. It doesn't have to be a particular direction. Then color ramp. There's not going to be this many, but like that, so they fade in and out, and we'll decrease the number. Now, I could do potentially a turbulence on this, actually, which would make them, like, go around all crazy. I think that's a thing in here, right? Linear, angular, dampening. I thought it was, but maybe I'm wrong. So that's still way too many. Let's do, like, 64 guys. Yeah, I thought I could. There's, like, somewhere to do turbulence. Angle, scale, color. Yeah, I guess I don't see it anywhere. Oh well. I'm going to up the maximum velocity so some of them can go really quick if they want. Yeah, I don't know like where I need to look at some images of like how bugs fly around. Also, I'd like there to be more like, yeah, maybe some butterflies in here or something, or like, what kind of bugs? I mean, the jungle has a billion different bugs. Jungle bugs. There's a lot of like beetles. Yeah, there are some like cool like butterfly type guys and stuff, so we could definitely throw that in. I think I might have that set up on the pond. Some little butterfly guys. I don't. It's kind of interesting. Oh yeah, dragonflies would be pretty cool. Yeah, I'll call this one, I'll give this a name. Flies. Let's hide all the shadows and stuff. Maybe a few less, and also increase the maximum speed. I want some of these guys to be able to, like, zoom across, right? That should be pretty good. Yeah, now we got little bugs flying around. Yeah, leaves, pollen. There's a bunch of different particles we could do for sure. Let's call this one butterflies. And I know there's a way to do animation on this. It's always a little, like, confusing. Can never remember how to do it. I did make a butterfly already for Starground, and so we can kind of import that. Portrait game. Sprites. It's probably right here at the top. Butterfly. Butter. Oh, it might be technically a particle. Wait, no, it would be lower than that, wouldn't it? Bullet. Butterfly, there we go. So I can just import that in here. I knew I had it somewhere. Now, I don't know how this works for creating an animated particle, right? Because obviously this is not correct. And there is like these speed values I can set for animation, but I don't remember how to do it. Like, it might be in drawing, shape. Also, flies are only moving one direction. Let's change their direction so they can go any direction. Let's figure out how to animate these particles. Water striders would be cool. That would be pretty awesome. There's probably water striders in jungles, I imagine. Let's just look at this. There's documentation on it. Go away. So give it a texture animation flipbook. So how do I do that? Oh. I have to give it a shader? That doesn't seem right. Then what is the animation tab for? Yeah, I can't remember how to do this. I can open up Starground really quick and we can just go look at how I did the butterflies. So we'll do that. Yeah, let's do that. Hey, Masterpiece on YouTube, welcome in. Heard you're looking for translators in Polish. You can join the Discord, and then there's some info in there on how you can get involved and sign up for Weblate and stuff like that. So yeah, totally welcome to join in. Do like physical flip books, yeah. Yeah, they're really fun to make. I used to do a bunch of those actually a long time ago. They're always pretty neat. I just gotta wait for this to open. Okay, so now I can go into the level scene, and inside of there, there's a particle emitter for the butterflies. Right here. And how did I do this? So animation does have stuff in here. Then texture. This is butterfly. So how do I do this? Does it have a material? It does. Oh. Alright, so I think all we have to do is this. We just give this a canvas item material. Do I have to copy this code? Like, what is this? How do I... Oh, there we go. Particles animation. Then 4 frames. Loop. And then now I can set the speed of the animation. And it'll probably be pretty slow, I imagine. Let's just do like 25. And now they're flapping around. Now that's too fast. Let's do 10. And then we can change. I want to do a flag in here. We go into particle flags and align Y, so they kind of always go in the direction they're traveling. And then now for colors, instead of doing this color here, we're going to do an initial color ramp so that we can have multiple different colors that can spawn in. So I think I'm going to join the Discord now. Epic, thank you very much. So we can just set like one color over here to be like blue. And then one color here will be red. And then one color will be green. And that'll give us a pretty wide range of different colors they can spawn in. So yeah. There we go, some little butterfly guys. So this is a lot of butterflies. Unless the emission shape is a little small. I think we'll increase it. The 256. I don't know why the horizontal is weird. Okay, I should be going out to the edges now. We don't need quite so many butterflies since they should last a long time. I could probably set their time to be like, yeah, like 3 times the amount or something. So now you should see a couple butterflies floating around. Pretty epic. But yeah. And then, how did I get a Discord ping? I thought I was in streamer mode. That was from Maxwell. Okay, and then I was doing this in here. So we have the new tiles in here. Now what I'm going to do, just so we could have a standard set of tiles everywhere, we can go in here, right? We're going to set up all of these tiles like this. Boom. I don't remember how I did the animations. I think, are they separate tiles? No, they're not. So we want to delete these secondary tiles here, because those are going to be like part of the animations on these. And same with here. All right, so we have all these. Now what I can do is select this and say animation columns 2. And I think I just drag it out like that or something. Can't remember exactly how to set it up. Separation. Let's go look at how we did it with this other one. Okay, so I just have, yeah, I mean, that's all I do. I just have it set to that. And it just kind of works. I don't know. Could I actually just select these and copy them? That might be possible. So I think I can just do this. Boom. And then select. I don't think I can copy. Nope. Okay. That's okay. We'll just have to set them up again. I don't know how I'm supposed to make these like go double like that. Let's try and figure it out. Is it a size in Atlas? No, because that's still set to 1. See, because I could have done like set that to 2, but that doesn't really do what I want. Why is this not changing to 2? There we go. If I like set up these tiles, then does it automatically become part of the animation? No. See, I'm actually not sure how to set these up. Mode. Frames. Oh, you have to add another frame. Okay. That makes sense. So anyways, now we can set up our jungle floor. So we just add all these frames on. Oh, and I have to go through and settle these to 2, unfortunately. Unless I can select multiple of these. Oh, I might be able to. That would make this a lot easier. Then just set all of the columns, set it to a different one first, and then to 2. Now, I don't know why this one became vertical? A little quirky. Anyways, I think that's all the animations, so we should be able to draw these in now. See, I would not be the artist I am today if I wasn't getting bored in like preschool instead of playing with my classmates. I just drew all the time, yeah. It's very true. I have mango pudding in the fridge. I'm really thinking about eating it, but if I start eating it, I can't stop. I'm gonna end up eating half a kilogram. That's crazy. You really like your mango pudding, don't you? Alright, so watch this, guys. Boom. We can now draw these. I wish there was an easy way for us to replace all these pre-existing tiles, but I do not think there is. So unfortunately, we're going to have to do one of these maneuvers. Now, it looks bad right now. Just you guys wait. Yeah, then we'll go through and kind of like shape it a bit. Yeah, it's very annoying that I can't just like do a direct replacement of the tiles, but it's fine. Okay, so build this up there. Fill all this in. It's really lacing a vent, maybe. All right, and now what we're gonna do is copy the shader that we've had over here already that I made. And what it does is it swaps out the color green with the color over the texture of our choosing. So I can now go into rendering, copy this material, and also set the Z index on all these. I think we can paint that so it's easier. But we're going to select all of these tiles here. Boom. And then for material, we're going to paste as unique. And there we go. And then let's go into paint, and I'm going to say Z index, set it to all -50. So yeah, this gives us just another like tile set to work with, which will be nice. I could see also reusing this tile for like the swamp and stuff like that eventually. We'll have to do more in the future, like one for sand, I'm sure, but it's okay. So anyways, now we can go open up that texture that I use for the ground, and we can just change it to be more jungle coated. So let's go find where that is. This is the texture, and it just gets repeated over and over. Now, what I can actually do is, I think it's in Shift W, and this enables like this mode in Krita so that I can draw this way better. So first off, we're just gonna replace everything. And it's hard to see like where, okay, that's where it is. This won't matter though here in a minute. So now we can just go through and draw some stuff, right? So we'll just start to draw some blobs, kind of figure out like the pattern we want. And something like this would probably be good for the lighting. I think that would be fine. We don't have to go super crazy with anything in here. I am going to make this very like dark, so I'm going to take this and darken it. Oops, I messed it up. Like that. And then we can go through with some like grass. I have some pretty useful brushes in here actually for pixel art stuff like this. I just found all these for free. Right, so I can like do this and have the grass like go into these little blobs of lighting, which actually works really well. For doing like big, huge textures like this, it's extremely nice. So we can make all this stuff look pretty grassy. And then we can go through with like more things. There's like, that's a freehand drawing tool. We got like this leaf thing, right? We got this, which does like that effect. This draws in like blades of grass. This is like that. We don't want that. This does blobs. So I think the best thing here, I wish I could like rotate this. I really don't think there's a way to. I think if I used my drawing pen, it would probably work a lot better. Because I think that has like more, I don't know. I could probably figure it out better. But anyways, let's just kind of fill in some little leaves, some patches of leaves around, you know? I don't think there's going to be like a ton of flowers in this, probably. I think this is more like just pure greenery, I would imagine. I don't know. We can do whatever we want. Just kind of filling in some splotches, right, with a little bit of greenery. Go in between those now and do some smaller splotches. I know it looks a little weird now, but when it's behind all the trees and stuff, I think it'll be fine. We can just like draw a couple grass blades around here. Just kind of keep throwing in texture here. We can go through and fix these colors if it's too distracting. Let's do like some smaller blades now. Kind of around these big areas, I'll like try and fill it in with the smaller stuff to kind of like make it blend in a little bit more. Crit is so good. I'm trying to transition over, but I'm so comfortable with Fire Alpaca. Yeah, I know. I know someone that really likes Fire Alpaca. Fire Alpaca seems neat. I've definitely enjoyed Krita, though. I also was kind of like at one point very, you know, set on using Paint.net. But then I just started to realize, like, man, Krita is actually so much better, though. It's got a lot more tools and just community support and stuff. It's definitely worth it. It's 2 a.m. and I'm way too tired to translate to component. Oh, yeah, no worries. Good dev session. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this, call this jungle texture. And we can keep tweaking this, and then like it'll automatically update in the engine, so we can keep checking on what it looks like live, which is a lot easier than guessing. So let's go ahead and put it in. Jungle texture. So that's what we have in here now. Let's think about how we want to change this, right, to improve it. Let's look at some images of jungles. The Amazon jungle. And the thing with jungles is they don't have like a lot of grass, right? And I think that's why it looks a little odd. Because a lot of the surface or the floor of jungles is like sticks and leaves, you know what I mean? And it's just like dirt. So I think actually that might make more sense here. Instead of doing grass, we fill it all in with dirt, right? And then we go through and just add in some little sticks and detritus on the ground, and we'll fill it all up with bushes and more stuff. But yeah, maybe what we do is just kind of like this, where we have some like splotches of like mossy areas. But not like full on, like, we'll see what this looks like. This is why I always, whenever I draw stuff, I usually put it in game like right away so that I can start kind of figuring out what it looks like in context to everything else, you know? And I think it's really helpful, because otherwise you're kind of just going in blind. You don't really know if what you're drawing makes sense, so. So anyways, that's just some green splotches. Let's see what it looks like in game. So let's see what we want to do here next. We could definitely throw in some like leaves and stuff just all over the ground. I'll probably do more splotches in here and like one in here. Also, what we're gonna do now, I think, is I want to think I might actually increase the brightness of this over here. So I'm gonna like desaturate this, drop it down a little bit, and then bring it toward like a yellowy brownish color. That way it just blends in a little bit more with the green that we have here. Right, something kind of like that almost, maybe. Possibly. And I might darken this whole thing up, so I think I'm going to darken this. And then darken the mud. Yeah, definitely like rocks all over would definitely be cool. This needs to be like a little more brown, I think. Just trying to get it to be like matching with the green, right? I think jungles have pretty like a lot of clay in their soil, so I think usually they're pretty like brown, right? Or not brown, more orangey than like desaturated. I think that works okay there, and then we can go through and add in like some little rocks and stuff, like, you know, just a guy right there. Just draw some random little pebbles. Then definitely we can draw like some sticks on the ground. We can just do like this. And I'll probably go through and like render these sticks out, but just for now, I'm just messing around, seeing what looks good, as per usual. Maybe a stick right there. One over here. Or like a big branch. Chat, let's fill this jungle with mud, mulch, sticks, stones, twigs, roots, and lots of foliage. Yeah. And we could do some like brighter leaves and stuff, so we could kind of go in and draw those. There's almost like a little like shrub on the ground, right? So you can definitely do some of that. Things on the surface of the jungle floor would has like really big leaves because they have to gather up as much light as possible. That's why you see ferns down there with their massive big like fronds and stuff. At least I assume. I might be completely wrong. Oh boy. Where am I? There we go. Yeah, I'll just go through and draw some of this stuff. And then we could have some... A lot of this will come in the form of like actual decorations that we go in and manually place, you know? So not everything in here is going to be in the ground. This is more for like flat stuff. So... You can definitely come along on some of these sticks and like shade them a little bit and stuff. Yeah, I don't want anything in the ground to be too distracting, right? Because I think the whole idea is that it's very non-distracting. So just go in, some of these little guys here and there. It's better. I could give these shadows, I guess. Yeah, plants can convert sunlight in crazy like places like that. Yeah, definitely. I guess that is already the brown color. We could do that for a shadow. But it's so weird how the selection is here. Okay. Oops, let's do this. I can draw under here. Just doing a couple little shadows for some of these sticks. Nothing crazy. Just to kind of give them sort of the illusion of shape. You can see what that looks like now. Just kind of slowly rendering everything out. Some of these rocks we could give little shine marks. Right. Well, another big thing too with this is like we need to really see what this looks like actually like in game from the player's perspective, because just looking at it inside of the editor, it does give us a little bit of an idea, but definitely like not the full vision. We could add in some little shiny marks. I'm not worrying about being too precise about this stuff, honestly. Okay. I think we're getting there. We're getting to something. Then we'll put in the path again in here. I need to go along and fix the coast now. We need to add a new terrain. So in the tile set, we go terrain sets. Oops. And then add another one, and this is going to be jungle. Be like a dark green. And then in here, let's go draw that on. So terrain set 0 and jungle. Oops. So that'll be full. This will be just that on all the edges. I think like that. Let me see if that's how I did it over here. Yep. And same with all these guys. Okay. Then these guys are in the center. Like that, I believe. Unless I did double there. I think I did. That one I did double. I wonder if that's part of why it broke. Maybe that is a good thing. Maybe I'm supposed to do that. I don't know, we'll give it a try. And then the next set I can paint in here is the path. So we'll just do that all around these. Actually, these ones are not connected to path, no. But these ones here are. Right, and this is a type of path. Fill this guy in. All right, so now if we go in here and we paint in terrains, hopefully everything will paint properly now, right? That is pretty janky, huh? Let's try and fix that. So why is it so broken? So that's set to that, so I mean it should work. It should do these ones. Might just have to do with the path. It's my guess. Because it's doing the other one for the edges, which is really weird. Right? I'm not really sure why it's doing that. I haven't had such a great time with the terrain in this so far for editing. I don't know if it's that I'm setting it up wrong. Maybe it is. Like that to use this node, or this mode. Maybe, but it's really janky. I mean, you can see it like doesn't want to do things properly. That one's weird. But you can kind of get it to work, but then it's randomly throwing in like grass. I don't know why. Yeah, I might just have to go in and manually draw these, which does really suck, but it is what it is. Let's go into tile set, or no, it isn't here, then tiles. I can select this guy to draw in. I might just want to completely delete the old ones, I don't know. Just like start fresh, you know? Let's just try to remember the general shape. Oh, well then we're good, because we can see that. The river! It's flooded the jungle! Alright, so let's start filling all this in. Guess we'll do it to that edge right there. Same over there. Yeah, I might make the river a little bit larger for this. Not too much bigger, though. We could try going to like that. Yeah. We can see what something like that looks like. Oops. We'll just get the shape of the river down, and then I'll go through and like make it look cool. So how wide are you guys thinking? Because I don't want to go too insane with it. That might be a pretty good amount. But the thing is like the player, I have to make sure they spawn in and like they're not standing in the water, right? What is this garbage? Yes. I don't even know how I opened that. Alright, to the jungle. So this is what we're looking at here. So this would work. I'll probably shift everything to the right a little more. Yeah, we could do that. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna just kind of add a little bit more here. Hey, welcome in. Is this an incremental game? It is indeed. Yeah. We're just working on adding in a new fishing zone right now. It's going good. Then yeah, I'll leave this kind of more open on the other side like that. And I think that should work. Then for the waterfall, I can just make it big. Same for the let's just call that like foam or something. Okay, make that much wider. Not that wide. Maybe that wide. Okay, clearly wider than that. Something more like that. And then we gotta move all these trees over. Which is a little annoying because I don't know which ones are which, right? I can select them all manually, but I might accidentally select stuff underneath, right? Like that. So I gotta be kind of careful here. Yeah, it's a little janky. Come on. Let me select the tree. Oh, God. Okay. We're getting there. How's the catching working? You just hover on the fish, so you can like cast out your rod and like play little mini games to catch them. That's how it all works. But yeah, Steam page is up now. It's called Lured In. Totally welcome to check it out. Select these guys. All right. Move these over. Somewhere into there. And then the final guy. Final two guys. Move them over. All right, so that's better. We got all the broken shadows. I'm going to do the shadows later once we finally like actually figured out the real layout of everything here, I think. So the player is going to be standing right over here. Let's add in our little path area. Something like right there. Let's do that. It's really annoying how... See, because I don't think I can just select and go to tile map and select the path. But then the path works a little bit okay, but it's still doing some really weird stuff. Like, why is it turning that corner? You know, what's going on with that? Maybe I can try and fix that. It's called Lured In. Yeah. Have you seen Fishing Inc? I think I've heard about that one. Haven't played it or anything. Could be neat. Let's fill this in. Let's see if this does better now. Nope, that just makes everything worse somehow. What is going on here? You'd think that would work. The Topside Tour Guide. Welcome in. How's it going? Now it's doing empty tiles? What is going on here? I don't know why the stuff is just so broken. It's really annoying. Oh well. We're gonna do it manually right now. It's actually too much work to not do it manually. So yeah, they're gonna be along this middle line here. Let's go ahead and throw this in. We could do like a little thin path. Let's get some of these. Oops, do that one. Wishlisted, thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, that looks okay. So we got that. We have to fix the shoreline over here. That's going to be really annoying to fix because it's a little janky. Also, the waterfall I think should be like smaller than the river down here. Thank you for the follow. So I think I'm going to do more like this. And then here I can have the tiles fill in around it. Maybe a little bit like that. And then we have these go up and up until the top there. Like so. Then we got to fill in the rest of this up here. Just kind of like that. Game is amazing. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Okay, let's tweak that. Make the width a little smaller. So that's better there. Now we can go through and fix the shoreline here. It's really annoying. I wish I could get the automatic tiling stuff to work, but it just does not. So we'll just have to kind of like manually go through and create stuff in here. And I'll go back through and fill in all the other tiles. The auto tiling, I don't think it ever worked for the other ones either. It's just, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's not like it's the first time I've ever set up auto tiling, and like I've done it a billion times. I just don't know what's going on. I definitely need to, I don't know, watch a video or something. See if I can figure out what I'm doing. Then here, this can just go all the way down. Oops. Playing the playtest right now. Let's go. Yeah, definitely let me know what you think. Let's see, where do I have the... Okay, inner corners here. Yeah, it's really annoying not to manually place these. Oh well. Oh well, there's nothing I can do. I'll try and look into that later. But sometimes it is just faster to just do it than it is to fix it, you know? I think that's an important thing to remember sometimes in game development. It's really easy to want to automate things, but not everything needs to be automated. It's not like I'm going to go through and like change this again or something, or make multiple jungles. So like it's kind of one of those things where it won't really matter. Okay. do this inner corner. Fix that. Boom, this guy there. Okay, so that's the shoreline basically done down here. I think that all looks fine. And then we'll go up and do these ones too. So we got an ad starting in a minute, my apologies. It's a pretty chill and relaxing game. Well, thank you, yeah. It's epic. It's gonna be a new map. Yeah, it's gonna be the jungle. Yeah, like you said, we'll bed. It'll be a new place you can travel to. I'm trying to think how I want to do this little waterfall transition. It's like I can do that, but see, it's a little odd. And I imagine I'm gonna have some like, I guess I could do like that. That looks kind of weird to me. What if I just did that? I guess I could do that and just have the waterfall over on top of it. So I think I'll do this. I'm not going to be worried right now about making the upper area here look cool. Maybe later on. There's a lot more things I got to do first before I worry about stuff that doesn't matter. Oh yeah, definitely there's going to be lots of new fish here. So be on the lookout for all that. We can do like that right there. Let's fix some of these broken tiles now. Alright, so we got that set up. I think that looks fine. And then now we can go through and do like the rock here. We can just make a little tile for that. Hopefully that won't be too hard. So we're just going to draw, like, I don't know what color the rocks are going to be. But something. Have that about the price per trip. Yeah, I think it'll probably be quite a bit more expensive to go here. I'm thinking it's going to be like 100,000 or something. We'll see. I just want each place that you go to be more expensive every time, right? So that's kind of how we, like, I don't know, add progression, right? But we'll see. That's something that I'll have to kind of just like play test and see what feels right, you know? Alright, this tile is going to look really terrible right now, but we just need to set it up and see what it looks like. So I think the wall will kind of start like here on the river. And, oh yeah, let's make it beneath the water. Boom. So something kind of like that, I think. Then we're going to make this look way cooler. This is a little bit of a goofy tile right now. I actually probably have this go up like one more tile, I think. To right there. Alligators, yeah, definitely. I think that is a real possibility here. So, yeah. Alright, so how do we want these rocks to look? I think they're going to be kind of like very dark, almost black. Don't want to accidentally edit the other tiles here. Maybe not quite that dark, but we could do like a dark gray. Like that. I think I like the darker rocks. Ooh. Still believe you should make the price difference bigger for the regions and add rare fish that are stable, maybe even 1 or 2 zones later. Yeah, I mean, we definitely can. I think I'll definitely be tweaking things more as time goes on. And kind of getting things set up so that we're able to do that sort of thing, right? Yeah, I mean, right now, as far as I'm concerned, all the balancing is pretty, like, broken. So we're definitely going to be going through everything again and fixing it, basically. Let's do, like, a big rock on this one, right? Kind of like this. Just add in some different variation for all these. So now what we can do is go into here. I'm going to set up a couple tiles here just so I don't have to keep redoing them. Handle these to -50. Now we can do this. Set this to like 5 or something. Then go over this again, and now we can randomly place them in like this. So let's keep tweaking it. Probably put a little rock here in the corner just to fill out that void a little bit. I'll probably go through and like give these some shading and stuff and whatnot. How long do you think until the update's out? I don't know. I'm not making any promises. Basically, it's just done what it's done, I think. That's the plan. I hate like telling people the update will come out on this day, because then I'm forced as like a developer to hit that deadline. And then if I haven't had enough time to finish everything, then everyone's going to be disappointed if I have to delay the update, right? So it is really one of those things where I think it's just best for me to like just spend as much time as I need to really make the update fun. And then, you know, it's done what it's done. But it's not going to be taking that long. I mean, probably a week or something. But, or not a week even, probably less than that. But, you know, I just want to spend my time on it. Make sure everything's really cool. Okay, yeah, that is indeed replacing everything. Let's do that. So that'll be like the top of the rock there. And then at the bottom, we'll do kind of like a similar thing. So this will be like, let's kind of invert it. I think we'll just do some like boulders here that kind of like stick out a little bit. Something like that, I think. I might do some like kind of like grass sprigs around here, right? Maybe like some grass that kind of like goes into the rock. We'll see what that looks like. I can make the rock do random rotations. I don't think that would work because I'm probably going to be shading it to like from the light coming in a specific direction. So unfortunately, that's kind of the problem there. That is always like one of the hard parts about creating tile sets like this, right? Is dealing with stuff like that. Oh, it didn't have the depth set. Oh yeah, it's all good. Game's amazing, especially for a solo dev. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Haven't seen a game like this in a while and I enjoy it a lot. Awesome. Yeah, it's very, very glad to hear that. It's really cool. So I think I'll do some like variation in the height of this. So we can do like something sort of like this. I don't know how this will actually look, but we'll give it a try. And then down at the bottom, we can like reflect that, right? I mean, it doesn't even really matter because you can't really see it very well anyways, but like we could do like that there. And kind of go through and fix those guys. I don't know, something like that. Just to give it a little more variation. Just ascended, let's go. Let's do one there. Boom. Wish I could hide all these trees. I might put all these inside of a group. Inside of a child node. So I can see what the frick is going on here. A node 2D. Call this trees. And put those up there. Put them under that group. Then I have to enable Y sort, and now I can go boom and see everything. Okay. All right, so definitely not up to my standards. It's very flat right now. I don't like how noisy this rock is. I think I'm going to actually merge some of these like sections together into a large rock. Kind of like that. And then I'm just going to keep going through and adding in more variations, and that should really help break it up, I think. I'll probably add some sections where it's got like a rock with some moss on top of it. So let's add a couple more rock variations. So like this one, I'll probably like, it'll have some like greenery, right? Sort of perched up on top. Something like that, maybe. Maybe this one will have the same thing, just a little bit different. I'll probably be good there. And then this guy can be another rock variant. I think we'll have a smaller rock over there. And this one kind of like shaped a little bit like this. See what that looks like. So there's a new update. Yeah, I did one just to fix some bugs recently. Just a couple of issues people are having with some things. Lots of just random bugs. Couple things I fixed, like with the language menu, there's this old bug where it would like break because the escape menu would like pop up, but then it's stuck there. It was really weird. So anyways, just lots of stuff like that I went through and fixed. Just gonna go through and give these like a little bit of shadow, so it kind of implies that they're like above the rock layer. Okay, so now we can select these 5 and go through and paint these in. So I can just do this. Turn on scattering. All right, and now it kind of does that. I don't know how I feel about all these yet, but we're messing around. We're figuring things out. That's a big part of drawing, I think. It's just like, you just gotta draw something. And even if it's not exactly what you were imagining, it's not a big deal. You can just go back and change it, right? Because it's really hard to get it exactly right the first time around, so I think it's important. Oh yeah, and releasing fish. Yeah, that's the other thing. So like, for example, I think that shadow I added is too much. So I'm going to go in and change it. So let's do that. It's a little bit better. I think I could probably like, I think that some of the contrast on these rocks are just a bit much. So I could see like, going in here and specifically for this gray, like dropping the brightness of it. Just a bit. Something like that, just to make it more calm. Less contrast. And then also on a lot of these, I think I want to go in and do like some highlights, right? Kind of start like giving these rocks like a shape. And I think that'll really help because then you can see like, oh yeah, this is like, clearly these are pointing in the up direction where the lighting is coming from. So that's kind of the reason here. So I can just go through in a lot of these and just give them some highlights, right? And then likewise, I can go through and also do some darker colors too. I think that'll help. All right, get a guy right there. So we got that now. I can kind of go in here with some darkness. Maybe not quite that dark, but like that. Start sort of shading these a bit. And again, I don't really know if this will look good or not. It's all just experimenting. So let's see what that looks like. I mean, I think it's better a little bit maybe. But it is like, I think the big problem here is, it's just that you know, I don't know why I'm doing it this way if I'm being real. I think what would make more sense here is actually just another shader, so I can swap out the material for another texture, like we did with the grass, where it's just like a big texture that's seamless. So I think that's important. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. This looks okay, I guess, but turn on the trees, and I want to see what this looks like now in game. I mean, if I add some plants and stuff around, I think it'll really help kind of blend everything in, of course, but I can only think of Link's Awakening when I see Sunfish. Oh, yeah. Because normally you can't even see the rocks, so I guess it's a matter of, like, how much do I really care, you know? So I gotta fix the region thing, because it's probably, yeah, a little broken. I do feel like I need to shift everything to the left, actually. I didn't realize how far out the player was from here. But I guess, yeah, literally what I can do is this. It'll be fine. Might be a little crazy, but I'm going to grab everything, and I'm just going to shift it over. It'll mess up the waterfall location, but that's a really easy fix. We just grab it and move it over. Let's see, where do we want this? I think right there. How do you get the axolotl? You can get those guys. Let's go look at how you do it. It might be through the crab pot. Yeah, it's through the crab pot on the river. So they're more rare, so it might take a little bit before they show up, but eventually they should. Yeah, that's a better location now. I'm able to see everything a little bit more. Okay. The butterflies are emitting, right? I guess they just take a minute to start building up. Yeah. Cool. Alright, so what's the next thing we want to do here then? So you know what? Actually, now that I'm thinking about this, on this waterfall, I want the bottom to be faded out a little bit too. Like that. Now the only issue is that though. Or it looks a little quirky. Because it doesn't actually get up to full. Oh, I can do this though. Here we go. That's what I want. Yeah, I just want to fade out the bottom so it doesn't look so weird. The top can be back to normal. There we go. Now there's not like that weird line down there. Cool looking water shader. Thank you very much. Yeah, I like how it's turned out. And theoretically, wouldn't the water... I mean, waterfalls, I guess, are white because, like, it's the disruption of the liquid. So I guess it's fine. I'm just thinking lighting-wise, since it's on the side of the wall, technically it would make more sense if I did, like, a darker color. But not really for a waterfall. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I guess let's just keep drawing more and more plants. More white for the waterfall. Yeah, Let's see what we can do. I could actually modify the shader here and make it more, like, have a higher frequency. Like that. I think that might look a little bit better. That's maybe a bit much, but like 0.5. Actually, even that's a lot, isn't it? Oh yeah, I'm seeing now. Yeah. Let's do 0.25. Yeah, we could slow the speed down a little bit, I think. When you start seeing the waterfalls, the stretched water texture, you can't unsee it. Yeah. I don't know if there's really a way for us to fix that. Unless we did a whole new texture, but I need to stretch out the texture, so I don't know how else I would do it. I think it's fine. I could make the bright color like more white, like that. Then we'd have those little like white bits go through. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do thresholds for this actually, you know? Like, I could see maybe not doing that at all. Because it doesn't really look very good with the pixel art on this, like because it's all weird. And then they just start randomly going away. Let's see if we could tweak that. So instead of doing snapped brightness, we can comment all that out. Get rid of all that stuff, all that. Oh, and I guess I do need that. I need snapped color. Okay, so let's do that. Keep snapped color because this is the final color. And I can just multiply this by the color of our stuff in here instead. So that'd be the color of our noise. Let's do warp color. What would that look like? So that looks like that. It's a little interesting. Trying to figure out like why. I think it's because of the way I do the noise texture actually. Because this is getting the size, yeah, divided by the texture resolution. So instead of that, I think I'd actually want to like get rid of that part of it and do that. And that would change that a little bit. Now, our frequency is way too high, so we can lower that. I do need to divide it by a little bit. Back to... Let's divide it by 2. Let's divide it by 16. It's definitely like smoother. Obviously though, the texture is looping, so we can increase the resolution of it, then divide it by a larger value. Just that it doesn't look so weird and jaggedy. Almost something sort of like that, in a way. Oh, I made that 132 on the Y. I was wondering why it was so weird. I guess we could just make the vertical on this a lot taller. And it just kind of does that. Anyways, then what we can do down here is just multiply all this by a specific color. Get like a contrast. Don't mind me, I can spend hours on shaders. Oh yeah, you can spend forever on these things. Already 4 AM, time to hit the hay. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much for coming in. Yeah, good luck with the jungling game, Jesse. Thank you. Appreciate it. No, you cannot use Vec2. This is a different language. Don't try and use Vec2 in GD script, because it won't work. Yeah, I think I'll just add a color ramp directly to this material. Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate. Would be nice. So you can do something kind of like this. We can increase the brightness on this one. Honestly, maybe just make this one white. And then I can tweak like the mode in here and stuff, or do like cubic. And I can control like how much white shows up here. What I can do to fix this, instead of doing nearest, I can filter linear. And that would really fix a lot of our problems, I think. Oh yeah, way smoother. And I wonder if we even needed to do on any of this, if we could just do that. Like, I wonder what it looks like with this now. It actually does kind of work. Yeah, I guess just changing the filtering mode basically does what I wanted. Okay, anyways. So let's change the frequency again to be higher frequency. Right, like something like that. That's not too bad. I do want the contrast between these two colors to be a little bit lower. So it's either I do something like that, or I might actually make that the color of the dark color I have here. Don't know if this will look good. Looks okay. I mean, I think that looks fine. Now we've got like the white in it, which is nice. Theoretically, okay, I have a wild idea. We could make some of this transparent. I don't know if this is gonna work. It looks like when I set that to be transparent. Okay, it's because I'm doing this. So I want to say, instead of just setting that to be equal to the texture, I do want to say times equals. Oh yeah, now I can have like a semi-transparent waterfall, kind of like that, which looks kind of neat. So then what I can do now for underneath it is add in the rocks, right, like this. We're just messing around, seeing what looks good. Put that in there. Then like this section here is always a little tricky because it's like I need it to stay like transparent up there, or not transparent up there. Waterfall cave, yeah. I want it to get like more transparent as you go down, I guess, is the thing. So I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. Well, multiplying instead. So if I go into, let's see, the waterfall. Because I could set it equal to that. How do I want to do this? I mean, I could have another fade, and honestly, this would probably work. I call this like fade override. I know it's a whole bunch of things now, but it will look really cool, I think. I'll hide those. I don't care about the noise or any of those. Oh. Get rid of all these. Alright, I'm just going to copy the fade. Paste it as unique. So it's raining at the jungle now. Yeah, I probably will make it so it rains more there. Now, what I can do is, this will be like, wherever this is set to full is where it will just stay. So I can do something like that, so I can ensure that the top is like full transparency for a little bit. And then it starts to become more transparent as it gets to the bottom. So now I can go back in here, and for this, I want to say, first off, color.a is equal to texture fade override UV, right? .a. So now you can see what that's done. And then I'm multiplying that alpha there. So I'm not actually getting the alpha of that one then. So what I want to say here then is alpha times equals that times texture, whatever it is, noise. Or I guess it's the initial color, so I just need to be more careful about how I do that. Or yeah, I have it here, so I can just say times snap color.a. Okay. But then it doesn't override that up there. So that's kind of the thing I have to figure out. So I want, like, if this is there, I want it to be set to that. Otherwise, set it to whatever this is. So I guess I would just say set to maximum. Yeah, let's try this. So it's either that one or that one, whatever one is the most, right? There we go. That's what I want. So now we can do that. So I can hide that little like transition area, but you get some transparency down at the bottom now, which I think looks really cool because you can kind of see behind the waterfall. And I might like increase or set a more of a minimum on this instead of just going pure, like do a bit more. Kind of like that maybe. And have this one fade completely out. I think that looks pretty neat though. Still got a bit on the edges that I would like to be more like kind of random, I guess. I don't know how I would do that. I mean, I think it looks okay this way. Might actually, for the speed on this now, the warp speed on the horizontal, I want it to be like 0. I can increase the vertical warp speed, but that looks a little weird. It's like it's rubber banding back and forth. That just looks really weird to me. And I could do like a little bit of warp speed, I guess. But not nearly as much as I had before. I guess that looks mostly fine. You can't even really see much of it inside of the game. Like, that's all you see back there, so... But... It looks nice, has a little sway going back and forth. Yeah, I mean, I have that, I can turn that off. I can just set this to 0. Just boom, and now it stays static. You can see what that looks like. Yeah, it looks cool, I think. And then see, because if you do like this to your window, you can see the rest of the scene in here. So I want to make sure that's like, at least looks somewhat normal up there. If somebody does a vertical game window. And same with the horizontal. I mean, it's just a bunch of trees, but yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think it looks cool. I might actually push this back a little bit more up in here. Do this. Just sort of like that. Do like some more of this grass stuff around, just really in the areas I can actually see it. It's the main thing. Just to ease the transition a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna do like a alternate texture thing on these, but I don't think I need to anymore. I think it's okay. Doing rain? Yeah, we'll definitely be doing rain. It already works, so yeah. All the places have rain. There might be a couple where I don't do rain, like the desert or something, but otherwise most of the time it should always have rain. I might actually make it so that, yeah, like the rain is more common here than the other types of weather. So, because it just makes sense. It is a jungle after all. I had to sleep. Sounds good. Good wool bed. I can't talk. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night. Okay, so that's kind of just phase 1. Now the next step is we've got to add way more... Oh yeah, see, there you go. It's raining now. We gotta add way more plants, right? Not nearly enough going on right now. So I think we should do some ferns. That's a pretty classic jungle plant. Let's go draw that. Size-wise, I think like 32 by 32. Let's look at an image of a jungle fern. All right, they're just like big guys like this. Ferns are pretty straightforward. So we'll just draw some arcs for where the branches are going. Something kind of like that. Can I ask a quick question? Sure. What do you have on your mind? Just gonna fill all this in. And this guy back there. Coin the guppy thing. I made that the pupfish way more common now, so it should be a lot easier to catch him. It's still going to be hard because they're rare. But yeah, of course they're obtainable. I've caught them before. This just takes a long time. I wanted some of the fish like that in the game to be hard to catch on purpose, right? So just as like a little achievement for people of like, whoa, look what I caught. But yeah, you should be able to catch them. It just takes a while. And they are pretty, like, valuable, so, you know, it's worth it. Especially early game. Might actually just not bother rendering out the individual little chunks, you know? Just kind of do, like, some... You want to make it look like there's one here. Do kind of like that. Then I'll throw out here. This is like more shading. Yeah, we just need to add a bunch of plants to the game, to the jungle. It'd be cool if some of these we repurpose for decorations too, maybe. I wouldn't be completely opposed to something like that. And I think this would probably have like some more sticking out from the center. Like some smaller ones, sort of like that, I guess. It's good enough for one plant. Let's give it a shadow, which I might do that in, yeah, in the world, so I don't have like weird issues with that. I'll do like some light outlining on this, but I don't really want this to kind of like be too distracting. It is a background plant, so... I'll probably replace a lot of these colors with very, like, low contrast colors. And I won't even, like, fill in much of the outline down here at the bottom. Okay. Now I'm just gonna do, like, a little bit of anti-aliasing and stuff. Then select all the outlines, and for most of these, go through and do this. Okay, we're just gonna call this jungle fern. I know it's not quite a fern necessarily, but it's fine. Doesn't matter. The game be paid if it's finished? Yeah, it definitely will be. I'm not probably not going to do free. Because the truth is the reason I would make the game paid is to make it a better game. Because the problem with free-to-play games is you have to have some way to monetize it, right? Which means loading it with in-app purchases and garbage and making the game actively worse, which I do not want to do. I want the game to just be cool and epic on its own. So, yeah, that's definitely the plan. Is to it's not going to be like super expensive or anything. I'm thinking like somewhere around like $7 or something. It's not like it's yeah, definitely not going to be ultra expensive. It'll be pretty affordable, and it's going to be localized for different regions and stuff like that, of course. So like if you live in a country where your currency is worth less compared to USD, it'll be a lot cheaper for you. Some people don't do that or whatever because of like you can buy a key in another country and then resell it for full price, and that is like a potential issue with that. But honestly, for indie games, it doesn't really matter. I don't think it's whatever. Honestly, if somebody plays the game a pirated version, that's actually kind of just good marketing for me, anyways, right? It's not even like a bad thing. So like I'm good. It's okay if people pirate the game. There's nothing I can really do about it anyways, right? So it's just like, fine. Alright, so now we're gonna do the classic. Select a bunch of random ferns. Flip them, boom, and scale them up a little bit to 1.1. All right, so that's another plant down. I think one more plant variety, and that would really actually give this place a lot more life. Welcome in, Bobby. How's it going? Okay, so what are some other plants you see around in here? Got like whatever this is. It's like a jungle fern thing. Jungle bugs. Amazon jungle. Would like to do more bugs and stuff too. Yeah, there's a lot of like, I've seen a lot of like these little kind of like, almost they're like trees, but not quite like trees. Right, so we've got these little like ferny plants like these, but like these, they have like these palm fronds and stuff up here. Or like these little like shrubby things with like a bunch of leaves. They're kind of like, I imagine it as like a flatter plant. So that could be a nice little like thing to put around. Just something with like these little like bundles of a bunch of leaves. Right. And we can go through, do some like little branchy twig things. We'll figure out how we want all this to look. And put more leaves. Okay. The Go text won't disappear marked as intentional? What do you mean by that? Let's do that. We can go in and do like some shading, maybe. Oh, sorry, I don't really get it. Thought you were saying there's like a bug where the Go text wasn't going away. All right, this is like a little shrub. I guess that'll work. It's kind of a quirky guy. Just gonna fill a lot of this in with black, I think. I don't know if there's really a jungle plant. It doesn't matter. We just need stuff in the background to make it not feel so empty, right? So it doesn't have to be this specific, like, this is the gabagool plant. It doesn't matter. For all we know, there's just a little pile of leaves on the ground, right? Just filling all the gaps. Okay, so we got that now, and we can select all this. We're gonna go through and make it all this color. And then near the bottom, where it kind of like connects into the ground, I'm gonna remove some of the outline. Sort of like that. Now we just got this little shrub thing. Jungle shrub. And then we could do some flowers. I do think it would be kind of cool. Let's do another node 2D. All the shrubs. Do have a lot of nodes in this scene now, but it's probably okay. Hopefully. Let's set the Y sorting on this. All right. Time to do it all again. Just kind of put it in wherever it feels right. I'll scatter a couple through here, but I'm really going to cluster these around the areas like the player can like actually see. It's like maybe under the waterfall and stuff. I know it looks a little broken there. We'll fix that. Can't really see across over to this area, so really the main focus is this little section here, right? I want it to be pretty jungly. Okay, now I just select random ones. Oh god. Always accidentally do that. Okay. Offset, flip, scale, 1.1. Boom. Alright, so it's definitely filling out now. Nice. So for this waterfall, I want this like to be, this origin point to be different. I don't know if that's actually something I'm going to be able to do with a color rect like this. Because I mean, I can set my pivot offset, but like that doesn't change the origin. So I guess my only option is just force its ordering to be higher. And that's okay. And same with the foam here. I think it probably makes sense, unless that actually looks good. No, I want the foam to be in front. So also set that to 1. And now that works just fine. The only thing, though, that I might cause a problem with is if I cast over there. I don't know. Well, it looks like it's actually fine. Doesn't have any of our new shrubs in here. So this is all looking pretty good. I do want to add in a plant that's taller, though. So I think 2 more plants and I think we're done. So we got, like, that big flower, the Rafflesia flower, or whatever you call them. And then I want something that's, like, a little taller, kind of like a yucca plant, right? One of these guys, or not yucca. What is it called? Jungle rope plant. It's called something. You can make rope out of it. I always see it in games. I genuinely can't remember what it's called. Common jungle plants. It's like these guys. What are these? They have these little, like, you know, they just go straight up. It's almost like a little baby tree. And this guy will add. What are they called? I don't know. Well, it's fine. We'll just figure it out. But it's something kind of like, it's not really bamboo. I mean, it's sort of like these guys. Just like a little like mini tree, basically, right? It'll probably be around like the same height as the player or something. A carry-on plant? Is that what it is? Oops. Whoa. Oh, yeah, that's the flower. We're going to draw one of these guys. The carry-on flower. These are wild, though. I don't think these are the same thing. I thought this was a... What is this? It's not the same plant. Yeah, I know they smell really bad, apparently. But they look cool, so we're going to add it. Luckily, we don't have smell-o-vision in the game yet, so I think we'll be okay. Alright, so let's just draw a new little shrub. It's going to be like, I think 64 tall. Something kind of like this. It's going to be like mostly vertical. It's going to have like a little stem down there. Something like that. Then it's going to go almost pretty spiky, I guess. It has like a lot of little like thin leaves. Right, it's almost like a little like mini palm tree kind of thing. I don't know, maybe this is just a baby tree and I'm just like stupid and don't realize, but it's fine. We're gonna do this as a different thing, just to have some more variety. Yeah, like a little banana tree. Sort of what they look like, right? They're like pretty short. I don't know if this will be a banana tree. It's just gonna be something. I'm not worrying so much right now about what these things really are anymore. I'm just like, yeah, let's put this thing in, because it looks jungle-esque. I think it's fine. If I sit here all day and think about what it's supposed to be, I think I'm just wasting time. Whatever you draw probably exists anyways. I know, right? It's like there's so many different plants and stuff in the jungle. Like it's all real. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's like some kind of weird palm tree looking thing. I think this will be fine. I just want something with a little more vertical height that I can kind of throw in between things, so I think this will work. Might make this a little bit shorter. Like, yeah, I guess 48 tall. Crop it to that. All right, outlining time. Looks jungly, and that's all that matters. Exactly, yeah. I have set out to make jungle plants, and that is what I'm gonna do. Let's see, do that guy down like that. Yeah, this would be cool to have a new region in here. I think this region is pretty fun to look at. There's a lot going on with the waterfall and the bugs and everything, so it's kind of fun, I think. I hope. And also what's nice, honestly, is it makes adding new regions easier when I draw a bunch of plants like this. Because now I have, like, I could reuse some of these plants potentially for other areas, especially like I was saying earlier, like the swamp. Because the swamp has a very similar, like, ground. It's, like, very green and kind of muddy and stuff. So I think I could totally sort of reuse these here, right? So, yeah. And who knows what other regions we're going to add in the future. Eventually, we'll just have such a big library of everything that it should get really easy to add in new stuff. Is the hope, at least. I mean, I don't know for sure, right? But... Alright, let's add this in. I'm going to call this, Jungle Palm or something. Mario 65 releasing tomorrow, finally. After all these years. It's crazy that they made 64 of them and then just stopped at 65. Let's call this the, Jungle Palms. And these ones I want to sway kind of like the trees. So I'm going to give this a material. Hopefully I made the size of this how I wanted. Please. It's probably fine once I put it down here. This is how big it is. Here, let's turn on some Y sorting so I can freaking see in here. Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted something kind of a medium height, taller than the ferns and shrubs, but shorter than the trees. So ready to make pots work better. We are working on that right now. I have somebody that's been helping a little bit with the programming on the side. And they're working on some pot upgrades. So yeah, very soon. So be on the lookout. Oh, our nature ambience stopped playing. I was wondering what happened. I'm like, huh? Alright. Back to the music. Let's close all those. Let's give you a good fish, but they take forever. Yeah, we're going to be adding in upgrades for those, so you can increase both their capacity and the rate at which they catch stuff. I think it'd be pretty nice. I want to add in some guys, like maybe up sort of on the walls of the rocks and stuff. Can't really see over here easily anyways, but we'll sprinkle a couple in. And then definitely some water plants would probably make a lot of sense here too. Like I know there's lily pads in the jungle. So maybe we'll do some of that. But otherwise, I think this all looks pretty nice. Definitely much more activity, much more jungle vibes going on here now. But that was the game. Why did you have nature sounds playing? Because Zafencer said no music, just nature today. Alright, so this is what we're looking at now with the jungle. These flies seem to be popping in really quick. I have to fix that. Yeah, I'll add in some sounds here. I'd like to do like little, some little aquatic plants. I know the jungle does have aquatic plants. Let's check. Water plants. Because there's stuff like this. They have these like crazy lily pads with like the big ridges. They also just probably have stuff like this, kind of like grasses that stick out from the water. So I might do something kind of like that. Yeah. I think I could do some of that. Let's do some grasses really quick. It's only going to take like 2 seconds for that one. And then, we can do some rocks maybe. So right, we're just going to do like this. Two seconds is up. No. All right. There we go. Then now, how we can make it look underwater is we add like this. right? So something like that, and then we can anti-alias it and stuff, sort of like that. I might make some of these like stick down much further, just for some sort of variety here. But yeah, kind of like that. And then underneath those, we put like some blue to make it look like roots under there, right? Something kind of like, you know, like that. To make it look like the grass actually like goes under into the water. Right. And that's actually pretty much it. I don't know if I'm going to outline this one. So let's go call this jungle water grass. I'll just call it water grass in case I use this in other places, because it's a pretty generic looking plant. Like I could see this working for other areas. So we got that. And then let's go draw like a little rock. Maybe a rock that sits in the water would be cool. So jungle has a lot of assets. Antarctica map's gonna be nice. Yeah, right. It's just like snow and ice. Like I could probably do almost everything with shaders, so it'll be way easier. Let's draw a rock here, shall we? Instantly don't like this rock. I think that could work. So now let's give this like a bright spot on top. Like something there. I'm sensing a top face right there. Now we go through and do all these up. Okay. Yeah, the jungle by far has been like the most time-consuming one to do. All the others I like kind of just scrapped together in like an hour, and I was like, okay, this is good. But the jungle's like, man, there's just so much stuff in the jungle. It does look nice though. I mean, I am happy with how it turned out. But you know. Okay, we'll do that. And start anti-aliasing with a couple things here and there. And like with that, we can do some more that. Those could be anti-alias like that. And there is a rock. I don't know if this rock is going to sit in the ground. Probably in the water, because otherwise, I don't know, it just won't work otherwise. So let's make this like have some liquid, right? And something kind of like that. Then we will go through an anti-alias. Do all the usual. And then underneath is where you'll see kind of the bottom of the rock. I don't know how deep we want to imply this river is. That's probably fine right there. And I will call this River Rock. And I guess this one is important enough to be outlined, so we'll do that. Yo, thank you so much. Whoa, big raid. The 300 people. Thank you so much for coming in. How's it going? Hope it's a legit raid. I don't know. Welcome in, everyone. How's it going? What are we up to today on your stream? We're currently just drawing some stuff. Drawing a rock. Working on our game. Yeah, what's going on? No, I never doubted the legitness for a minute. Don't worry. Yeah, welcome in. Oh, John said he hoped your stream was legit when he rated you. Oh, yeah. Well, it's legit over here. We're working on a jungle. This is my fishing game. It's called Lured In. We just drew some rocks and some different like things in the water, so we're gonna throw that in here. I'm just gonna call this water decorations. Give this sprite. It's lovely. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's coming along. Yeah, this is all we've been working on today. Is just getting this jungle ready to go. Just want to have more places and stuff for everybody to fish, so now you can travel here. I think it'll be nice. So I'll call this guy Rock. And we're just going to have a couple of these scattered around on the edges. Don't want to do too many. We're going to go through and like flip these. So now what I'm going to do is pick every other one and horizontal flip. And for these, I might actually shrink them down ever so slightly, like that. And then the next decoration we added in is this little grass thing. So I just called this, what is this? Interesting. Anyways, this just sits in the water. I think it might be a little bit too bright, possibly, and maybe even too thick. Yeah, it's been fun working on this today. It's a lot of work because the jungle has like so many different assets that goes into it, because there's so many plants and rocks and everything, and it's a lot. But I think it pays off. So yeah, I'm just gonna thin out this grass, I think. I don't want it to look weird and too thick. Yeah, we could do thicker at the bottom. I'll go back through and do that for sure. All right. Okay. Something like that, and then near the bottom we can kind of thicken it up. Like kind of like emulating that the grass is like clumping together at the bottom. Something like that works, I think. I should look a little bit more like accurate now. Yeah. How do you select the object and paint behind it? I've been using the magic wand, if that's what you mean. Like I just hit this and then I'm only filling in the transparent areas, if that's what you're talking about. All right, so let's keep the origin like right there. And then yeah, now we're just gonna go through and add in some little grass things. So it was the awesome tool, yeah. The magic wand is pretty magic. Yeah, we'll just kind of scatter these around. And then do the same thing that we did before. Just select every other one. Is the magic wand legit? I think it might be. All right, there we go. So I think that's pretty good for now. I don't know if there's really anything else I want to add to here. We've already added so much in here, and I worry that like if we add way too much stuff, it might actually start to lag out people's computers. So I don't want to go too far with it. But I like how this is all looking. I might a couple of these, like maybe for this guy. Remove this guy, yeah. Number 12, you're gone. The only thing that we don't get from doing plants this way is like the water kind of going over the roots there. But there is one option here that we could try, which is we could fill all this in, or like delete all this and then redraw it again with 50% opacity. And that would kind of mean that you can sort of see the water underneath it, and it might look like it's like under the water better. So let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that's definitely, I think, a bit better. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. We got all that going now. We could actually probably give all these the material to sway back and forth. Just because I think it looks nice. Cool. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the jungle area. So now you can catch fish in here, bring them back, and yeah. The next thing now for the jungle, now that the region has actually been established, is now like going through and, you know, adding fish into the jungle. Because there's no fish here right now. So, missing a cat sitting, oh yeah, like a jaguar or something. A tiger. Yeah, I caught a tuna here, which is not, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I don't think there's tuna in the jungle. Yeah, I gotta add in some sounds here, like for the river. Obviously, it doesn't really sound like a river or waterfall right now. We can actually just go into here into the regions table and do that, because we have the sound for the river already. We can do river ambiance, like that. Let's give this a try. And we will see what happens here. Go over into the jungle again. And what did I even do? Oh yeah, so now we can hear the river sound, which is much better. No, that is not part of the ambience, no. Cool. Well, yeah, I think I like how this region is shaped up. Looks pretty nice, pretty cozy. So, nice. It's loading stuff during the splash, or is it just artificial delay? No, it's actually loading stuff. I don't have any delay set on the splash screen, so when you launch up the game, it just loads a couple things. It's running through and compiling shaders. It's just loading in all the assets that I'm using and stuff like that. Nothing malicious. It's just doing all the normal stuff it needs to do. It's not really that bad for the load time, I think. I mean, say I think with follow. I mean, there's a little bit of a delay, but I don't think it's ever something I'll truly be able to eliminate completely. It's got to be able to load in all the code and scenes and stuff, so, you know, I don't think it's that bad. So, Bobby, thank you for following for the third time now. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Woolbed got a 1 week streak. Let's go. No, that would be, I don't want to, what would I even do with stuff like that? Too much work. I'd rather not steal people's codes because it's easier. But yeah, no, it's just oh yeah, and also I bet there's a little bit of overhead for like it has to initialize the Steam connection so that we can do achievements and stuff like that. So I imagine that also has a little bit of a load time. Someone got me with that recently. Oh, that sucks, dude. Yeah, it's always a little scary, like downloading games from like game jams and stuff like that, because there's always that risk that somebody did something very malicious in there. But luckily, I haven't had any issues yet. I mean, I've got antiviruses and firewalls and stuff set up, so you know. But still, it's a little scary. Am I playing? I would if it was easier. No, I still wouldn't. Why? I mean, why? First off, it's illegal, and I don't want to go to jail. And I don't want to be evil. I don't want to exploit people's Discord. That would be stupid. What font is being used in the game? This is, I believe it's called Lychee Soda. That might be the one for Starground. Yeah, that's the Starground font. This is what is this one called? It's made by this person. By Jetty. It is Grape Soda. That's the one I'm using here. So some people don't like the font and think it's hard to read. But I do have an option to swap to the normal font in here. So I mean, it's not a huge deal. Like, so if you have a hard time reading this font, then I don't know what to do for you. But I do like this font. The only thing that's a little unfortunate is it doesn't have support for Cyrillic characters. So whenever we swap the language in here to like Russian or something, it doesn't work. So I want to figure out a solution to that. I don't know what options I'm changing in here. Okay, this is the normal font option here. So if I turn that off, you can see now it's like a weird mix. So I need to do that. I need to find a... I think somebody posted a font inside of the Discord server that was like a modified version of Pixel Sans with Cyrillic characters. Which is... hold on. Font. It's called Pixelfy Sans. And I think this has almost every kind of character in here. All right, I don't know if it was this one. Or no, it was a Pixel Comic Sans font or something. It was one of these. I don't remember. No, this is like the Undertale. I'll go figure out what it is later, but I can't remember what it was called. MS Pixel font or something. I don't remember what it's called. I thought it was Comic Sans MS or something like this. Like this. And it is a nice font. I wouldn't mind using that, actually. Everybody hates Comic Sans, but it's just because of the context. I think for pixel art like this, it actually looks kind of good. Yo, thank you for the cheese times, everybody. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Whole cheese. Pretty sure that is legal for, yeah, Russian hack in America? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's still illegal. I don't think... I'm not going to test it. How long have I been working on this? Well, unfortunately, you're not unable to see anything now. Here, let's, there we go. I've been working on this since about the beginning of the year. So not a super long time, but I think things have gone pretty well in just the 4 months that we've really sunk time into it. So yeah, it's coming along. The playtest is available right now, so everyone is welcome to check that out if you guys want. Oh, it doesn't change the language back there. I gotta fix that. Say cheese. Yeah. Insane. But yeah. The cheese takeover. Wonder what the best font is for pixel art. I mean, it depends. There's a lot of different fonts you can pick from, so you know. Goofy ones I think work if you want to kind of exude a vibe of like, what's the word? More of a cartoony chill vibe. You can do more of a serious one. I mean, it just depends. There's a billion different kinds. There's just as much variety with pixel art fonts as there is normal fonts, so yeah. Not enough cheese. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's a lot of cheese. It's quite a bit of cheese in here. Did I draw that aquarium? This one over here? Yeah, so the way that this works is I drew like the frame here, and then I'm setting up a little viewport here that like, it's actually a copy of what's inside of the tank. So let's clean it so you can see a little better here. Oh, Jesus, they just crashed the stream. Luckily, I don't think it's possible anymore. So like, let's clear out the decorations. You can see there's nothing in there, right? If I go in here and add in some decorations, like this little funny guy and make him big, you can see him in there now. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of creating a copy of this viewport and displaying it onto the tanks. And I think it's really neat because then you get to actually, you're really seeing what's in the tank, you know? It's not just like a fake thing. Okay, finally, the cheese reign is over. But yeah, I like doing this because it's really cool to like decorate or change the background in here, right? And then you get to, it'll actually be the real tank, so yeah. It's nice. It's something I wanted to figure out, so I'm glad I spent the time to do that. It is complicated. You got to set up all these like viewports and everything, but it does work well. I will not deny that. So yeah. I can find out one day if everyone contributes, yeah. I find sound for UI scroll / hover to be unpleasant for the sounds in the game. I mean, that's a fair opinion, I guess, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be changing those, but... this first game? It is not. I did a couple games before this. The first one I ever put up on Steam was Pogo Rocket. If we go check that out. it had a lot of problems. I made this in GameMaker, and I really hated using GameMaker because I felt like I was just constantly limited. So, yeah, GameMaker was a big, yeah, it was a bruh moment. But I did learn a lot doing this for sure. And what I learned is I don't want to use GameMaker anymore, and I want to use Godot instead. That's the main thing. Then after that, Starground. Starground's still in development, but yeah, this is the second Godot game, second commercial game also. And yeah, this is really fun. It can be a little bit of a hassle with this game since it's multiplayer, so it's a lot of work, but yeah. Separate volume control for UI sounds. We already have that. Yeah, you can go into the options here and just turn off UI sounds if you want. So you're good to go. But yeah, definitely this is like the I think the biggest learning experience I've gotten. Just making a full commercial project and learning how to do multiplayer and stuff like that. It's kind of taught me that I don't want to do multiplayer on Lured In. Because it's just too much work. So, and I don't even think multiplayer would even make sense with Lured In, really, since it's like an idle incremental game. I just don't know how it would, like, how would it change the game at all, you know? Yeah. That's the hardest sound effect to get right, in my opinion. Yeah, it is really tricky. I went through like 10 different variations of it trying to find one that I liked, so it's a lot of work. Definitely recommend everyone play Starground. Let's go. No MMORPG, not yet, but there's always room for me to make mistakes. But yeah, maybe one day in the future, but probably not an MMORPG, but more like you just connect to people's lobbies and it's just a regular RPG. Yeah, definitely not an MMO though. You know, it's still in development. The game looks and feels really polished and lots of content. You're talking about Starground? I appreciate it. This game Skyrim clone. It would be fun to do an RPG one day. I could see doing something like that without multiplayer would be much more feasible. Because basically it's just making a world and then kind of filling it out with stuff. And that's not like the worst thing ever. Thank you for the follow, Dandy. I appreciate it. Yeah, MMORPGs, I always say everyone, like, do not ever, that is the worst possible game you could do as your first game, you know? It's really bad. But yeah. Anyways, unfortunately, at this juncture, I do have to end stream. But we're gonna go raid out though. And yeah, but we got the jungle done. Ooh, okay, I'm muted, good. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Got all the plants and stuff. So yeah, next stream we're probably just going to be really focusing on adding in new fish that you can catch here. I've already got a little bit of a list going for what kinds of fish I want here, so where did I write that down? So hey, even Steven, thank you for the follow. Where was that? Yeah, right here, just a couple different ideas that we were talking about last stream. Electric eels would be really cool. I've been wanting to add in those guys. I have like regular moray eels. This guy is really neat too. He's like golden. Maybe a bull shark. Bull sharks are weird because they I guess live in like brackish waters, so they go from the coast into the river sometimes. But I don't know if we're gonna do that. It might be a little weird if you see a shark in the river, so. But yeah. Just dropping down ideas. Checking out Lured In on Steam. Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, before we head out, feel free to check out the game on Steam. There's a public playtest, so everyone's able to play right now if you want. But yeah. Anyways. Next trick. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But yeah, sorry to end stream, you know, only a little bit right after the raid. But I do have a bunch of stuff I've got to go do, so. Gold SRC, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is raining in here now. Yeah, we gotta add in different fish here for sure. Anyways, let me close out of the game. Alrighty. So who do we want to raid? Let's go raid, let's raid Dobbs. But yeah, Yeah, feel free to join the Discord. Thanks for putting that link in there. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Pretty neat solo game. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been fun. Making stuff solo is always really hard for sure. I'm going into the chatting view. But it is rewarding. I get to learn a lot, and it's fun. Sometimes I enjoy doing things the hard way on purpose, you know? It's the reason I don't use AI stuff. It's just like, I want to learn for real, you know? So, and solo developing really, you know, helps with that. I can't say it's 100% solo development because I have some other people helping with like music and stuff, but like 95%. Anyways, let's start this raid up. Someone's like half the stream to explain. Yeah. All right. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming in. And yeah, thank you so much for the raid from J-Blow. That's epic. I think that's the biggest raid we've ever gotten, which is pretty wild. So yeah, we're going to go raid Dobbs. He is working on igloos right now. He's working on like a big snow zone. So looks pretty epic. One and only Jonathan Blow. Yeah. It's very epic. But yeah, we'll see all of you guys on Wednesday at 3:30 MDT for the next stream. Yeah, feel free to play the game. It's available now for free, the playtest. So yeah. Bye everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye everybody. And thank you for all the follows. I appreciate it. Bye bye.